Live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got runaway Democrats. Running away from the altar. You're about to get married. What's going on? Hey, you're there to do a job. All you got to do is vote, and you want to run away. You want to go to hotels, motels, Holiday Inns, and I appreciate y'all for catching that reference in my short video. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Trump was on the roof of the White House looking at some expansions. I was reading some of the comments. I jumped. It was all kind of crazy stuff, but what is he going to build on top of the West Wing above the press and briefing room? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, unfortunately, there was a mass shooting at the Fort Stewart Army base out there in Georgia. Luckily, everyone is going to make it. Everybody's okay. It was 5 soldiers who were shot by another soldier, and the guy had his own gun. So it appeared to be some kind of workplace incident, which is really crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, if you are if you were born past 1990, you might not have any idea who Howard Stern is, but his show may be canceled, might be coming to an end as his contract is coming to an end. And if it ends right now, I say it's about time. Well, we got all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, thank y'all for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I see you're talking about ads. Are the ads on? Did the ads pop up? Listen, YouTube does all kind of stuff. I got a little notice right here that says, focus on your live stream and let YouTube insert ads for you. I've not turned it on because I want you guys to be able to watch the whole stream in full. I don't really need ads on the stream. I'm not cussing out or nobody like that with, a trillion kids watching me. It ain't like that. So I want you guys to have a smooth experience. So if you got ads, it's not me. I didn't do it. You got to blame the white man. Blame the white man. It's not me. I didn't do it. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. You guys are always the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. We got a lot going on tonight. The runaway Democrats. I mean, that's crazy talking about we're going to try to delay the vote. What's the point? Like, okay, you're running away from Texas because you don't want to vote on the redistricting. Oh, it's gerrymandering. And if you guys don't know what gerrymandering is, that's a practice in which political parties will redraw districts to benefit them. Now, in this case with the redistricting, it will benefit Republicans, but that does not mean that it won't benefit the people who live in these districts. Okay. If it just benefit the party in power to help them have more power in Washington, D.C., that's one thing. But it'll benefit those actually on the ground. Listen, Texas is a place where things are kind of moving and shifting. People move from place to place and new communities are being built. People move there and they got a certain kind of ideology. So if you have one part of a district that is heavily Republican and they wish to join the other district, why must they stay right there? Furthermore, you're talking about gerrymandering. The blue states are notorious for gerrymandering. Some of those maps look ridiculous. I'm talking about completely, absolutely absurd. As a matter of fact, hold on. Can I find a really gerrymandered map? Let's look at Illinois, because Illinois, which is funny because J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, opened the state, or he welcomed them. He said, hey, you can have safe harbor here. It's okay. You can escape here, Texas Democrat, so you don't have to vote in Austin to get this redistricting done. But let's look if I can see some of the Illinois gerrymandered maps. Let me see if I can look at it right here. And shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. Okay. So this is a pretty interesting map right here. Hold on. If I can get a good size map. All right. This is a pretty interesting map here. Okay. Look at these districts. Is that a river right there in the middle of the state? Like, what is this? Hopefully there's got to be a river. So these are some pretty interesting maps. I mean, you can zoom in. You could clearly see where Chicago is. There's Illinois, and then there's Chicago. You can clearly see where that is. That's a pretty interesting mess of a map. So the blue states have no real room to talk about gerrymandering because they originated the idea of gerrymandering, in my humble opinion. It's the difference between trying to gerrymander to make things better for your particular party and doing something that'll help the actual people. That's not the same thing at all. Just because there's going to be maps redrawn and districts redrawn, really, does not mean that it's gerrymandering. But in the case of Illinois, California, etc., oh, they got gerrymandering going on. They got it for sure. They absolutely have it. But it's a classic case of projection per usual. No different than any other time in history. It's always projection. Always. The method says, no river. I can't tell. It looked like it was river right there. It's like, why does that district look so funny like that? It's like a road or a river or something. It's crazy. Kaya says the Bay Area is bad like that too. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I believe it 100% because California is a mess. Listen, natural beauty, weather and all of that is great until it get to be a wildfire. You're running for your life at that point, but a beautiful place to be, but it's the leadership. Your Gavin Newsom, your Nancy Pelosi, your 1,000-year-old people in there, lizard people in there. It's a mess. You got guys like Scott Wiener. Okay. Your name is Scott Wiener. Did you name yourself that, or is that your birth name? Because it kind of fits the kind of lifestyle he lives. But when those individuals are in charge, you're going to have some weird things happening in the state for sure, including some awful gerrymandering that does not help the people. It just helps those in power, which is typical for California. Because remember, during a lockdown, you got Gavin Newsom at French Laundry, hanging out, chilling, no mask on with the medical professionals. But you, the average man, hey, throw that mask on. And that brainwashing worked so well, unfortunately, that a lot of people are still masking to this day. It's like, it's 2025. Slavery, in the sense of you got to put on this face diaper, is over with. Okay, we abolished it. It's over. It's done. Throw the mask away, please. You're not really doing nothing but just inhaling microplastics into your lungs that might give you some kind of crazy disorder in 5 years, not even 20 years. In 5 years, it'd be a crazy disorder. Oh, I got long COVID. Do you? Or do you just have a bunch of microplastics in your lungs that are causing you health problems? I'm just trying to understand. You have a respiratory issue. Well, maybe your issue comes from what you inhaled from that mask for the past 5 years. I'm just kind of putting it out there. I don't think these masks were meant to be worn 24/7 when you're not really in any kind of danger anyway, when it's not actually helping you. I was seeing people eat food, be in the car, all of that with a mask on. It's like, that's got to be kind of a dangerous mix. It's a dangerous mix. You in your house that got hoarded up, you got cats, rats, bats, dogs in your house, okay? Your ceiling fan has about a foot of dust on top. Your air filter has not been changed since the war, since Vietnam, World War II. The same air filter. Your air filter is, at this point, not even recognizable. The cardboard, the filter part, you doing all that, but then you got your mask on and you're wondering why you got sick, or what they call long COVID. All right, like I said, long COVID ain't nothing but an injury from the vaccine and or your mask making you sick. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Retro AI says, hold on, in Nova Scotia, you can't go into the woods for any reason to prevent fires. No hiking, no fishing, no biking, four-wheeling, etc. It's not done in Canada, ABL. I don't get it. I don't quite understand. I look at California, and I look at Canada like California. You got a lot of natural beauty, land, everything, but you got people in office that just don't really make any sense. It's like, what are we doing? I don't really understand. Not in the least bit. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. So we got all of that going on. We got the Trump White House expansion, the Fort Stewart situation. all of that. There are a few things happening. All right, but I'm gonna read some of these comments right quick, and then I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling. AMG says, on the flight, wear a mask, but you can pull it down to eat and drink while piled up closer to a bunch of other German passengers. And Germany is the word. Germany is the word, because some of y'all on these planes, the cough, the guttural sounds I hear coming from your throat are just a little bit too much. I'd be like, hey, you know what? Before you get on the plane, you want to get a few Ricola, put them right in the back of your head, a little bit of, hey man, some water, something, because y'all coughing and hacking on in 10B, y'all coughing and hacking in 32A. I'm good. I don't want to be sitting next to you or right in the middle seat, which is the worst. I'm in the middle seat like this, right? With my elbows tucked in, like I'm on an amusement park ride. My elbows tucked in. Okay, you over here on one shoulder, coughing, and the other person got a different kind of scent going on. I don't know what their smell is, and all of this is just hitting me. All of my pores and my nose and my mouth. I'm good. That should be the focus. Let's focus on our hygiene and our health. So, God bless RFK Jr. and his goal, because we need it. We need it. Okay, I got a video about RFK. People don't like him, and hey, check it out. I want you guys to imagine the kind of individuals who don't like what RFK is trying to do. You may not love RFK Jr. He may not be your favorite guy in the world, but those who just hate the idea of physical fitness and being healthy and living without a bunch of debilitating disorders that are preventable, those who hate that ideology, think about how they look. And we're going to get to a video later that shows you all of that. You got chronic lungs, TJ. Hey, man, hopefully you guys are not wearing no mask or nothing like that. Hopefully you guys are doing everything to take care of your respiratory, your cardiovascular. Do everything to take care of that. And one thing you could do is not put your mask on and just wear that like it's okay, because that is damaging you as well, in my humble opinion. Okay, contact lenses as well. I had to start wearing contacts for a similar reason that y'all should start wearing masks. You're preventing your normal oxygen flow in and out. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. All of that needs to happen naturally without much obstruction. With my eyes, I used to get styes, and I had a chalazion. Look it up. I had a chalazion on my eye. I had to get surgery. Basically, I had one eye for like 6 months because of the chalazion on it, and then I had to get surgery. Then it had to heal up. It was a mess. But anyway, I was wearing contact lenses, and it was preventing oxygen from getting to my retina, cornea, all of that good stuff. And that can damage you. So for all you contact lens wearers, and if you're sleeping in your contact lenses and they get real dry, you are damaging your eyes. So please stop. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Before we get to any videos, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsors. You guys, of course, for being the first. Rocking and rolling with me. You know I couldn't do it without you. But also thank you to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also go to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I have articles for each video that I produce, the long form ones at least. And in each article, you'll find sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on the internets or not, you're not. And the dead giveaway is anything about money, anything about gift cards, anything about foreign exchange. It's a dead giveaway. And of course, like I said, my email is contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you can't remember, it's fine. It's always on the contact page of the website, and that'll be linked in the description, and I'm easy to find on the Googles. Does anybody Google anymore? Or is everything Chat GPT, XYZ, AI this, AI that? Like, are we still Googling, or are we just GPT and everything? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm like a late adopter. It's like I'm a caveman. I just woke up, and then it's like, okay, is that what's going on? Hold on. I'm gonna show you how I feel sometimes, like with all the technology and stuff going on. And shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling with me. And shout out to you guys who were on the Instagram stream last night. I had a good time on that. And if you guys don't know about Instagram, I go live over there every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for about an hour, hour and a half. Again, Instagram, I go live every Tuesday at about 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're interested in that, come check me out. It's a good time for sure. But yeah, so much of this technology is rapidly changing, and I don't see no stopping it, really. And I think everyone should just kind of adapt to it. Ain't no point in trying to fight it. Ain't no point in trying to fight it because it's here. Why are you going to try to fight a thing that is here already? So, hey, and then people say, well, it's going to take a lot of jobs, all this, that, and the third. Well, yeah, but that's just the way it is. There's always been things that have been here, technology that's been here and is not here anymore because new technology comes about and makes it obsolete. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Is there any music to this? No, it's no sound. Okay, but this right here is how I feel sometimes looking at the internets and social media. So the scene, chaotic. We're just going to watch, and then I'm going to explain. TikTok dances, crashed up car. Okay, got recording, and then old man's over there like, what is going on? Imagine you woke up from a time machine. You went to sleep in 1965. You wake up right now to seeing a crashed up vehicle in the middle of the road, dancing girls, a guy recording. You're like, the man, that's ABL right there. That's me. I know he looks a little bit different, a little bit older, a little bit whiter. He looks like that, but I promise you, that's me right there when it comes to the TikToks and Insta Snaps and chats and all that kind of good stuff. That's me right there. So I think I'm not alone in that. Some of y'all probably feel the exact same way. Listen, whenever I see, and for real, I've been here. I've actually been in this situation where there's a TikTok happening in front of me. I want to get as far away as possible from that because, first of all, I don't know what kind of content you creating. It might be some kind of weird stuff, some kind of LGBTQ elemental P. Y'all might put on the furry suit and do some weird stuff on my. So I don't want to be in the midst of your shoots because I don't know where it's going. One day I'm minding my business, taking a nice little brisk walk in the summer air. Okay, minding my business, and then the next day I'm getting the phone call like, yo, ABL, I saw you, bro, on this crazy website. You were in the video. I was in the video. Yeah, you were just walking. So I'm trying to get far away from the camera as possible. Far away. And if they try to like follow me, now we're going to fight because you saw me trying to get away from you. Don't chase me now. But yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to all the TikTokers. Anyway, now speaking about TikTokers and leftists and whatnot, let's check in on how the left are doing. Let's just check in. This is the great reporter, Savannah Hernandez, over there with TPUSA Frontlines. All right, let's go ahead and get some sound and let it rock.
So, you just finished the Smash Room. How was it?
It was everything I could have ever dreamed and hoped for.
What were you thinking about when you were smashing? What did you smash?
The patriarchy.
Fuck you, Trump! Fuck you! That's where I'm at.
Okay, now first of all, sorry for the cussing. Second of all, I think that's just him venting his TDS. It's kind of like Tourette's. You know, you got a pair, it just says random things. Tourette's is like that in humans, and then TDS, it gives you a form of Tourette's. And once you just let it out, you're like, peanut butter. Afterward, you feel great. It's like, man, I feel so relieved. Applesauce, all right, I feel much better. That's kind of how they are.
How'd that feel?
Well, it feels good. I mean, woo.
What did the watermelon mean to you?
Well, I'm autistic and bisexual, and I don't want to be put on a registry, and I don't want my data to be used illegally by RFK, and I don't want to be shipped off to a health farm by RFK that he's gonna, he plans to put us all on, similar to I shouldn't say similar, it's a health farm version of the concentration camps in Alligator, Alcatraz, and nobody deserves to be in concentration camps. That's Nazi shit.
Okay, there was so much. First of all, my lady, I need you to get off the internets for a little while, just a little while. You're outside touching grass right now, that's fine, but your phone, throw it away. Take your phone and just chuck it into the water because you're getting too much information, way too much. Talking about you're going to get put a registry because you're bisexual and autistic. That's like so normal. That's like saying that you are a human being. And you wear, that's like saying you wear glasses. Well, newsflash, I got glasses on too. You're not really that special. Autistic and bisexual, I mean, you just described a regular person. That's not really nothing to be. Now, what I would say here is, although her claims are not correct, the things she think are going to happen are not correct, I do like the fat farm idea. I do like it. I'm sorry. I do like it. It wouldn't be mandatory unless you're like a repeat offender. So hear me out. All right. Let's just say you have a repeat violent offender, a young person, 16 years old, can't stay out of trouble, all this, that, and the third. Now, the person is also fat. I propose a fat violent offender program. Okay. So check it out. You committing little crimes, little petty stuff, a little bit more violent, and you 16, 17. We're going to put you in a military camp, like a boot camp, but there's going to be a specific focus on you being way overweight. The nutrition is going to be very strict. Ain't going to be no contraband snacks. Listen, ain't going to be no outside snacks. Ain't no Takis going to be permitted in the fat camp. Ain't no, what y'all be eating? Taco Bell. You're going to be eating very strict regimented food. It won't be fancy, and you'll get used to it. About 6 months of that, you'll be all right.
Alcatraz, and nobody deserves to be in concentration camps. That's Nazi shit. I didn't realize how much was literally pent up inside my body until I let it out, and I was like, oh my God, I started kind of shaking afterward.
There's a lot of rage behind the lack of bodily autonomy that they're allowing as opposed to what they're not doing for children. And
so I guess that means since we say you probably shouldn't delete your baby, that is where the lack of bodily autonomy comes in. I guess that's what she's talking about. Now, the baby does not have any choice in the matter, right? What about the child's bodily autonomy? Did the baby get to vote? Like, hey, all right, yeah, go ahead and abort me. Was that a choice the baby had? I don't think so.
they're forcing them to have children, pretty much, by not allowing abortion in a lot of states. And in addition to that, I have many trans friends that are afraid to even walk outside.
What were you smashing the...
Okay, now look, you a transformer. Go ahead and walk outside. It's fine. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. What we don't want you to do if you're a transformer is to invade a woman's space, because that's what this is. Although there are transgender men, meaning women who now identify as men, although they exist, the problem is not with them. The problem is with these men who identify as women, but they look like Danny DeVito, they look like Chris Farley, they look like John Goodman, okay? Straight lumberjack Tina Two-Man Taylor, Al from Home Improvement, it looking like that, going in the bathroom, talking about I'm a woman, violating women's spaces. Since when did we allow that as human beings in this country? But anyway, I got a little more of this.
Anger out for today.
Everything, like our rights being taken away slowly but surely, and not even slowly, pretty quickly actually, and just the blatant disrespect of our Constitution and of our laws as a society. Right now, I think.
Okay, so that's enough of that. But I wanted to look at the sign in the background. So you see the sign right here in the background. The rules: wear PPE, so wear your mask and things of this nature. Respect yourself and others. Listen to marshals. Don't wreck the lanes on purpose anyway. So I guess there's bowling right here in this little tent. Okay. All righty. So it looks very fun out there in these little makeshift tents. I mean, this looks like a homeless encampment field day right now. I don't know about y'all, but I don't really think I want to go to a homeless encampment activity day, right? That's not really what I'm into. You got a bunch of tents set up with activities in it. Okay, here's my meth pipe building facility. Go take a tour. No, thank you. But shout out to them. This has got to be California. If it's not California, then I'm totally surprised. If it's not California, it's a place that has been Californiaized by the California expats going all over the country and the world. But yeah, shout out to them. But again, I do think the fat farm is a good idea. The involuntary one, if you get locked up a lot, and the voluntary one. If you weigh 500 pounds and you're 15 years old, okay, fat camp time. And it's not like it's not a bad thing. It'll be good for you. It'll definitely be good for you, and it'll prepare you for the future. How are you going to be 15 years old, 500 pounds with no trajectory upon which to get off of your current, there's no pathway to get off of your current trajectory. So you're going to be 600-pound life before you know it. I'm trying to save you from that so you be able to be productive in society. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All righty. So we got Charlie Kirk asking the infamous question, what is a woman? Okay. And shout out to Charlie. I did not see the South Park episode. Hold on. I got a picture of Charlie on South Park if you guys have not seen it. And if you have, you'll let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I've not watched it. All I saw was a picture. Give me a second. I'm going to load it up for you. All righty. And then there we go. So did they nail Charlie or not? You see the little swoop bang activity in the front? I don't know what you call that. White guy's hair, I don't know nothing about. My hair can never do that. So I'm a little bit jealous of the Superman little bang right here in the front. Okay. But what do y'all think? Is this kind of on point, off point? Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. But the little widow's peak swoop, that's definitely on point. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the question, the infamous question. What is a woman?
You're a teacher. Yes. What is a woman?
What is a woman? Oh, buddy. All right. So we define gender as a set of preferences that you have.
This makes me feel so good because the youth are rejecting the wokeness. Nature is healing. The country is healing. I love it so much. I got so much confidence for the future. Look at Charlie. Charlie, he feels good too. He probably feel the same way I feel right now.
Gender is a set of preferences we have. Woman is a social construct that we've agreed upon. Typically, we imagine womanhood as makeup or whatever. There is a difference between the word woman and being a biological female. Woman is a social construct that we use. Listen for a second. I'm telling you what it means. Woman is a social construct. We agree on these set of preferences. If I tell you that I'm a man, it's because I want you to know that I like these set of preferences. If I tell you I'm a woman, it's because I want you to know that I agree with these set of preferences.
Can men?
Now, before Charlie asks the question, okay, there's a lot I want to say, but that makes no sense because what you think is okay and cool and acceptable as a man, I don't feel the same way you feel. I don't agree with tie-dye t-shirts. I don't agree with gender fluid ideology. I don't believe in no limp-wristed behavior. That's just me, though. You may think all those things are great, and that's fine. You're still a man, and I am too. That should just be so simple, but apparently it's not. Let's keep on going.
Agree with these set of preferences.
Can men give birth?
Can men or can males? Because males can't. Listen for a second. If you listen to your bio professors, you would understand there's a difference between biology and what we think
So
about.
I want to thank you for proving a great point.
What?
You are why we should eliminate the Department of Education. Thank you very much.
Very well done, Charlie, at the end, because obviously that guy has been brainwashed, indoctrinated. It's like, come on, bro. Why are we saying that? Never in my life, in school, college, just in regular life outside, moving around, never have I heard that a man can give birth to a baby. What the young man trying to say is, well, you could be a man if you identify as one. That's not how it works. And you see, that's how these big John Candy looking characters could get into the bathroom with women and assault them because of the ideology. You could just do whatever you want to do. You can just identify as a woman, identify as a man. That's not the way this works. So shout out to Charlotte for setting a young man straight. And again, I'm proud of the peers around him for shutting the ridiculous argument down from the very beginning. So yeah, shout out to the youngins out there. All right, shout out to them. Now, this is funny. This is an old video. This video came out March 25th, 1982. Again, March 25th, 1982. Now, I'm no mathematician. 43 years ago? That's a very long time. It's about climate change. And the anchor is Dan Rather. Let's watch some of this to see if anything they said from back then has come true. There's also a guest appearance from someone in this video, and you'll never guess who it is. Let's check it out.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously. And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world. Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American farm belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada.
Canada? Really? Was that the idea in the early 1980s? They got to go to Canada? Was that what they really were saying?
Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the Earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space. The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the Earth.
And the funny part about this, they use this kind of ideology to offshore a lot of dirty things, manufacturing and coal and all of that. It just offshored to India and China. So that same CO2 is going up in the atmosphere and affecting the same planet Earth. But that's fine, right? Because at least it's not so much here. No big deal, right? A few million jobs lost, whatever. For the same CO2 to go up in the atmosphere with even less regulations, no big deal.
Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
We are not doing the kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who are so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people. the very survival of cities like this one. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
So there we go. You saw Al Gore in there. Hold on, Al Gore looking like a whole puppet. What's it like Woody Woodpecker? I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know like the boy from the Toy Story. Y'all know what I'm talking. Y'all know Tom Hanks's character from Toy Story. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That hairstyle is giving me a little bit of that. Okay, it's giving me a little bit of that. So yeah, that's Al Gore back when he was a Tennessee House rep. Okay, way back in the Reagan administration, early Reagan, early 80s. These people are still around. It's like, can we get some new blood in there? Can we get a new thought leader to spring up, perhaps? Okay, it was Woody. I'm right. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I said Woody Woodpecker, but his name was just Woody. Okay, hold on. Now I gotta bring him up. Yeah, he's kind of giving me that same type of vibe with the hairstyle. Or maybe it was just kind of flat. I don't know what it was. But yeah, that right there, that's Al Gore. 1982. That's not even that bad because Joe Biden was around since, 1972, 1973? When he first got in office? And he's still there. And the question you got to ask yourself is, what has he accomplished? What has he done since then of any relevance? In my humble opinion, not a lot, but maybe y'all know better than me. Okay. Now, I don't know who these people are. Maybe y'all do, but I've seen them quite a bit on the internets. All I think is liberal white lady. I don't know her name. If y'all know her name, and I apologize for the freeze frame, but, I don't got a lot to work with. Anyway, they're saying if you're watching Fox News, you should get bullied, okay? That's not very nice. I don't really believe in bullying, but let's watch this.
I think we need to start bullying people that watch Fox News.
I agree.
I think
shame them.
They need to be bullied for their abject intellectual laziness and the fact that they sit there and serve up this cruelty and that these Fox viewers sit there and digest it with glee.
Like it.
It is the dumbest thing you can do, watch Fox News.
I'm all in.
I think we...
Okay, there we go. Now look, my thing is, rather than attacking certain people, just express yourself and what you think is the best way to go forward. Express yourself. That's what I would say. Why am I dumb? Why must I be bullied? Why must I be ridiculed? And I always ask that because sometimes I get comments and I catch them. I get a lot of comments I don't even respond to, but every now and again I just catch it and then I respond. And it's not a lot of genuine back and forth. It's a bunch of poopy heads and N-words and stuff like this. It's like, man, come on. Like, give me something real that I could sink my teeth into. Okay? That's what I want to do. Give me somewhere I can sink my teeth into. Okay, this was funny. Now look, apparently there's racist toys at Walmart. Well, she thinks, I don't know what this is, but she thinks that there are racist toys at Walmart. They're hidden. You got to find them. But when you find it, you'll know, okay? There will be a reveal. Let's go ahead and watch it.
Hey friends, have you been to Walmart lately? Have you seen this? What do you think? What's in your mind? Hey friends.
Okay, now before we continue, at the end it says this is in, what's that, Southwest Missouri, I suppose. Is stuff like this why they want to build a whites-only community here? Okay, it's out there in the Ozarks, right? All right, right there by Arkansas. So look, you talking about a little boy with a tiki torch? Is that somehow threatening? The only time we saw the whole tiki torch thing was, what was that? Heather Heyer back in 2017. I mean, I got to ask y'all a question. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Candy Stripe, whatever color you are, I want to ask y'all a question. Are you afraid of little white kids or grown adult white males or whoever with tiki torches? Are you afraid? Because if I see you holding lawn decorations, I'm not really scared. Okay. I'm not scared of too much of anything. You could be holding a gun, but a lawn decoration, that does not really invoke fear. I'm like, oh my gosh, a little white kid with a lawn decoration. Call the police. Call President Trump. Call Barack Obama. Get somebody to protect me. I'm not really scared, but maybe I'm just different and you guys feel differently. Let me know if you're scared. Okay. Hey, they say the tiki torch is racist. It's not me saying it. I don't think that lawn decorations like that are racist, but some do because of the whole Unite the Right situation. And if you guys don't remember, some of y'all probably didn't even really know anything about the Unite the Right riot. But back in 2017, there was a, long story short, because a lot of y'all know the story already. Back in 2017, there was a march because of a statue of Robert E. Lee on the campus of UVA in Charlottesville, Virginia. Now, some thought the statue should be removed. Some thought it should stay. So there was a rally on that purpose. Now, there were bad actors who came to the rally on both sides. Those who were for the statue and those who were against it. Bad actors came on both sides. And they had a little bit of a skirmish. And then one person, Heather Heyer, wound up getting hit by a car and ran over and she died. So ever since then, they've been talking about tiki torches as being some type of, threatening image. Okay. So this image right here has been all over the internet. See the tiki torches? Now listen, if I see those kind of guys with lawn decorations, I'm not afraid. Okay. I am not afraid. But maybe it's just me and some of y'all might think different. Let me know in the comments. All right. Robert says it blows bubbles. We talking about toys, children's toys. It's pretty simple, but people are really weird. They really get afraid. It's just kind of crazy out here in 2025. All right, now we got something from PBS Kids. Okay, Elmo. They're worried about Elmo potentially going away because of the cuts to U.S. aid or the cuts to the CPB, which is the conduit upon which NPR, PBS get partially funded. The main thing with the CPB was local stations that are not going to be funded, but they also give money to PBS and NPR. So some were upset thinking that no Sesame Street, that was going to be gone and all this, that, and the third. I don't think that will be affected because it's probably a show that makes money. However, when you say things like this, I wonder about the future profitability of your company. Okay, let's watch.
Hi, Elmo and I wanted to share that everyone is always welcome on Sesame Street. This month and every month, we want to uplift and celebrate our LGBTQIA+ family, friends, and communities.
Yeah, that's right, Miss Ariana. From our Sesame Street family to yours, happy Pride! Elmo loves you.
And I love you, Elmo.
All right, so there we go. Elmo says, happy Pride. Is that what you watching on PBS? Is that what we, the people, are funding? Is that it? If they could survive on their own without our funding, then go ahead. Knock yourself out. It's a free country. But why would I and why would you want to put your money up for that? And why is a kids show talking about LGBT? What does that got to do with kids? There shouldn't be no sexuality talk on a children's show. Is it just me? Like, what are we doing? So yeah, defund all of that. If they can survive on their own with no taxpayer money, that's fine. But defund all of that. I don't want my tax dollars going to LGBT Elmo. I'm good. I'm good on that. What do y'all think? Now, this woman has a MAGA hat, although it's like a little funny MAGA hat. I'm just going to go ahead and say nice MAGA hat, although that might not be her objective.
I like your MAGA hat. Yeah, Trump. Woo!
Now, as you can see, it says make America gay again.
Woo!
It says gay.
Oh, I know.
Just checking.
Trump fan.
Never know.
Trump?
No. It says make America gay again.
Great again.
gay.
I know, but we love Trump, right? I like your MAGA.
That's funny. Don't get mad at him. You the one to put the hat on. So I might have a little conversation with you about Trump. You opening the door for political talk. See, I'm not going to wear no political stuff or thing that could be political if I don't want to have a political conversation or for there to be a political comment made around me. Like me, listen, if I go outside wearing something like this and somebody want to talk, I'll talk you to death from the side of the road, in the grocery store, at the gas station. I'll talk you to death. You can be like, all right, I got to go. It's nice talking to you, but I got to go. I'm going to do that. So yeah, more of the story is if you wear a hat like that, be ready. Be prepared for the conversation. Make America great again. I'm going to ignore the gay part and I'm going to just say what I think it should mean. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now Australia, they got a problem. They got a knife problem in Australia. They got a knife issue in Australia. So their plan is to use these little drop-off bins. Hey, drop off your little pointy knife in the bin. Haven't we seen this before in Australia? Hey, drop off your gun in the bin. And then when a head coat comes around that scares us, we're going to physically make you stay in your house. And what you're going to do, you have no more guns. Next step, you have no more knives. We will totally control you as a state. There's a lot of pressure from China on Australia as well. So this could be the precursor to total government domination in Australia, in my humble opinion. But let's watch.
Outside the Victoria Police headquarters on Spencer Street, a purpose-built bin for a weapon wreaking havoc.
This is very important. Those knives, those machetes, create enormous damage.
Come September 1, it will be illegal to own a machete, and this is where Victorians are being asked to drop them off during an amnesty period that will run until November 30.
We've done this because we want to get these knives off the streets because these knives destroy lives.
Outside the Victoria...
All right, there we go. So again, it's out there in Australia. They got a problem with the knives causing problems. Well, the human beings carrying the knives, obviously. It ain't the knife. The knife didn't just get up in the morning and say, okay, I want to get stabby. It's the human being that did it. Knives don't kill. Knives don't hurt. Guns don't kill. Guns don't hurt. It's the person behind the weapon. But anyway, they did it already with the guns, and now they're coming for the knives. What do y'all think? Smart idea, not a smart idea? I don't know about y'all, but if I'm in Australia, I'd be like, look, I was down on the Gold Coast, Sydney, wherever I was at, and we were on the boat. I had all my weapons. I had guns, knives, fireworks, fingernail clippers. I had all of that on the boat. But guess what? It was so tragic. Kids were crying. It was fire everywhere. People were it was a melee. My boat capsized. Everything sunk to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, not even like a harbor or a bay or a river, the ocean. So they're gone forever. They're gone forever. It's a wrap. It's over with. So that's what I would say. All right. That'd be my response to them talking about, you got 3 months for amnesty. I bet you I don't. How about that? I bet you I don't. You got 3 months till you're going to start trying to find it, but good luck doing that. Good luck doing that. So yeah, shout out to the Aussies if you're watching. Hopefully you guys are able to protect yourselves in some kind of way. No guns legally and no knives legally. How are you going to enforce that? You're going to walk up to my house and do a knife inspection? If I am a home invasion victim in Australia and I use a knife or a gun to defend myself, what's the penalty? Do I go to the penitentiary, make big rocks, little rocks for defending myself with a prohibited device? Or is it not really a big deal? Y'all let me know in the comments. Now, this person has an interesting opinion about migrants. Hopefully she talks in this video. Well, I don't want her to talk for real, but I don't want it to be just her looking at the screen. Anyway, let's watch.
Unpopular opinion, but if we took all MAGA men from ages 18 to 50 and replaced them with immigrants, violence against women and children would decrease to almost 0%.
Okay, there's a lot in there. So she says, look, if we just took all the MAGAs between 18 to 50, basically all men that she doesn't like, take all of them and replace them with the migrants, and we'll be a lot safer place. You sure about that? My question would be, where are the migrants coming from? Certain parts of this world, you're not safe as a woman, or you're not as safe as you are over here in the USA. I done heard some horror stories. So where are they coming from? That's going to be my question. Okay. I think in most cases, you're going to be a lot safer here in America with the MAGAs compared to anybody else. Compared to like your regular, average, everyday Joe, the MAGAs, we got you. It's going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. We'll be the ones that come to your aid when your house is on fire, when you're a violent crime victim. We're going to be the ones who are there repairing infrastructure. We'll be the ones doing all the jobs, all the work that must be done for society to function. That'll be men. That'll be what we do. Okay. Now, here's a great meme. Okay. You see the caption right here. Tell me a better sound, or tell me a sound that's better than this. And she got her little Starbucks or whatever coffee cup, and she gonna shake that. Let's see what the better sound is.
Tell me a sound that's better than this. Tell me a...
There we go. So shout out to the Border Patrol with the handcuff. Okay, absolutely. ABL, why do you find pleasure in these people getting arrested? They're just trying to feed their family. Well, look, these people, many of them were already criminals in their country of origin. Okay, and you want to come here and break the law. This has been the constant. I've been seeing this a lot on the internets. You guys, of course, are not going to say that, but people say, oh, they didn't do anything wrong. Well, coming into the country is illegal. If I go to their country illegally, I'm getting arrested immediately. And as a matter of fact, I saw a video where some Black Americans were getting profiled. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, here we go. So the caption right here says, getting extorted in Mexico. We were on the phone with the U.S. Embassy and it did not help. Calling the U.S. Embassy did not work. Please stop thinking it will. Okay. Again, this is in Mexico. You got Black Americans being harassed by the people. Let's check it out.
You put me on handcuffs? No dinero. Hello, hi. You're trying to, you asked me for money. They want to know what, do you have like a badge number? Check your card. Do you have a badge number? You're asking me for money. He showed you the license. Badge number?
They still got the license.
Call your supervisor. Call the U.S. Embassy.
Look. I got some advice. Before we go any further, I got some advice. If you're in Mexico and they say, dinero, DS, what they want, like $20, look, whatever they're asking for, go ahead and get it to them. If you got it, especially, if you got it, get it to them. Give them whatever you got money-wise, because you don't want to die right there on the side of the road. Look, it's their country. They can do whatever they want. And then apologize or whatever they want to do later. We saw that already with them people that came from Texas. And when they came into Mexico, got pulled over, beat up, killed, whatever. Oops, sorry. And there was no accountability. What's going to happen to them? Nothing. Maybe something that happened, but you still dead. So, again, my advice. If you're in Mexico and the policia or whatever are extorting you, you have no real alternative.
I'm on the phone with them right now. Do you have the U.S. Embassy on the phone? They call me. Don't worry about it.
For the car. You need paper for the car?
Call the U.S. Embassy.
Check your car.
Call the U.S. Embassy.
Check your car.
I'm an American citizen. You're not going to extort me. You're harassing me.
Close the camera.
She hit me. That lady, she put her hands on me. You put your hands on me.
I got the video.
You put your hands on me. I'm not doing this with you.
Okay,
fuck, y'all got me fucked up.
It's open.
They're gonna go through our shit. No, my stuff. Unlock the fucking door. Lock the door. Lock the door.
No, please look in the section.
Put the window up.
No, please look in the section.
They need to call somebody. Put the window
Look
up.
for what?
I'm waiting for the U.S.
Look. All of that, badge number, all of this. I keep telling people, stop. Like, there's no point in doing that. What's your badge number? What you gonna do? Like, who you gonna call? You gonna call who you gonna call Mexico? What you gonna do? You gonna file a complaint down there? Okay, see how that go. You don't pick it no panty. Man, please. Ain't gonna be no interpreter or nothing. You're gonna be in their court looking dumb in the face. Dumb in the face. If you get to survive. So yeah, don't do that. Do not do that. And don't think because you're a person of color, you got some type of free pass down there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First of all, you're a gringo. Second of all, you black. You're not even really what they want. They want the white gringo. They don't even really want you. So nah, ain't gonna be no free pass down in Mexico. Not in the least bit. All right. Now listen, this guy's homeless in the USA, and he's going to expose how the nonprofits, the NGOs, and whatever, they basically, I don't want to say they extort him, but they use him to get money. Okay, but he doesn't really benefit from what they do, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out.
Explain double dip, triple dip.
Double dip, triple dip. So you have multiple agencies in the county, and you have one individual that needs services, and they'll go to one agency, they'll sign them up, take his social security number, name, might not do anything for him, and go to the other agency, and they'll do the same thing. They'll sign him up, take his social security number, and say to give him service in an apartment when they're not really doing that. Right. Okay, and so that's double, triple dipping on one identity, because they're not the sign them up at BHRC, they're signing up at TPI, they're signing them up at Join, they're signing them up at Urban Alchemy, and all they need is their signature and authorization to receive funding for that individual, and they're supposed to have a voucher that says that they're being true about it, and instead they're just signing people up and kicking them out.
And when they sign them up, they're getting money.
Yeah, of course they're going to get money because they're doing something for them, but they kick them out the next day.
But they're still getting money even after they're kicked out.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is your name is on multiple lists of multiple providers.
Yes.
And they're getting paid, but they're not helping you directly.
How can they? The only oversight is our own community, our own people understanding. If they really want to be in that job, stop using the same people over and over again for their own benefit, because it's really, it's not an Oregon thing. It's not a progressive thing. It's not a good old boy thing. It's just a loophole that has been taken advantage by those who are trying to help somebody.
So look, we see what the problem is. There's a homeless industrial complex. The money is in trying to quote unquote provide services, but you really don't provide anything. You just provide a way to get yourself some money. You may do some things, but ultimately, you're doing whatever you're doing to make money. That's going to be the bottom line to all of this. You just want the money, period. So when they say, oh, we need to throw more money at it, for what? So it'll get used up by these politicians. It'll get used up by the NGOs. And then the homelessness will just get worse. Even if you do provide some money, they're going to get used to those resources, and they're going to travel from far and wide to get the resources. California, prime example. You have the homeless industrial complex out there, plus you got weather that's pretty much sunny year round. So they could be outside all the time. They get whatever they need taken care of, living outside. So of course you're going to have people that are attracted to that kind of lifestyle. The homeless problem will never end unless you stop funding it or feeding the people and funding the NGOs, because it all works together. Like I said before, it's like you feeding a stray cat. You leaving the food out there, okay. That cat's going to expect the food every night, and the cat might bring some friends along with them and some other kind of rodents. You might see some raccoons and whatnot, even the coyote come into your backyard and eat some of your food. Okay, that's kind of how it goes. Unless you not bring the food out there, the cat, you're going to hear it real loud. I had a neighbor back in the day that would do that. Would feed the cat all the time, and then when she did not have the food out there, the cat throwing the fit. Anyway, so we have a Portland resident with a little snapshot about what's happening in the city. Okay, very nice. I like the tattooed on blue eyebrows. That's a very nice touch, young lady. All righty, let's watch.
You know what pisses me off? Aside from the fact that I live in a state where literally everybody with my skin tone is more than likely a racist, it's the fact that if your solution to the homeless problem anywhere that you live, especially in Portland, is anything short of just going out and all the homeless people, then literally nobody's going to be happy. You don't want them to be sheltered. You don't want them to be out on the street. You don't want them having resources to help them. You don't want them to be alive.
No. So hear me out. I don't want them to be, deleted. I don't want them to be 6 feet up under the ground. I don't want that. I hope that they're able to get past their drug addiction, first of all, because a lot of them are on drugs. So I hope they're able to overcome their drug addiction, number one. But number two, again, when you feed the homeless, when you give them things, they're going to keep coming back. And also, when you get a bunch of money involved, you're going to have these big companies, NGOs swoop in to get the money. They may give the homeless some money after the fact, but they're taking their cut off the top. Off top, they're taking their cut. Okay, that's just really what it is. The only way to eliminate or reduce homelessness is to stop enabling the entire cycle, to stop funding it. It's the same thing with these very obese poor people. Okay, you have no money, no job, no nothing, but somehow you 500 pounds. It's because we give them free food, and you could buy whatever you want with the food. You could buy cookies and cakes and pies and treats and all of that. You could just sit on your hind parts all day and eat it like it's shoveling. Like you got a dirt mover, and you tipped it over, and you dumping all the cookies and pies straight down your mouth. That's kind of what's going on. So my solution to homelessness is to stop enabling it. Just like food addicts, drug addicts, anybody else, is the exact same solution. It might be rough, it might be hard, but so what? That's fine, because people have lived rough and hard throughout the history of man. We're very spoiled in this country. We're very soft in this country. Go to other parts of the world and see what they got to do. See how they got to live. And you'll be thankful for how you live right now. And also, you will understand just how crazy it is out here in these streets. Matter of fact, hold on. There was a video I saw. Hold on. I got to find it. Oh, here it is. I found it right just that quick. Okay. Now, this person had to find out the hard way, or she found out in person, in real time, that there's been some cuts to what EBT will cover. Certain foods, it ain't going. Okay. Let's see exactly what foods are not covered anymore under EBT. Check it out.
What else they take, man? So just those two? Oh, what's that one? Oh my! They didn't say which one. Girl, they didn't take the muffins. That's a deal. 188. Oh my God, that's crazy. Not even a juice.
So far, no muffins, no juice. And to be totally honest, to be totally clear, I've not heard about any food that has been denied quite yet, because muffins, sugar, and bread. Okay, juice, sugar. Where's the food at? Where's the actual complex carbohydrates and the protein? Y'all know how I get. I get really offended.
The juice, yeah. No. They didn't take the juice for real? When they started that, it must have been this month. You get food stamps? Bro, this shit is crazy. You feel like it's food, everything sugar. They got 67, 54. 67. So what's the best? Girl, they didn't take the Reese's? Let me see. They sure they take the Reese's. They ain't taking the juice. Y'all take the juices on. The green juice. No. The Reese's, they didn't take the Reese's.
You're trying to buy a candy bar? You're trying to buy a candy bar with EBT? See, look, you know what? Can I say something right quick? Can I just say something? You're going to get right back to this, but can I say something? I'm glad that this is happening, because you heard what she said. Hey, put that stuff back. You didn't need it anyway. You appear to be eating pretty well. You've not missed a meal in a long time, okay? And that's good. That's great. Fantastic. However, let's be a little bit more health conscious. Do you need them bag of muffins? Do you need the king size? What kind of big, that king size, look, that Reese's is about 2 foot long. About big as that rat I had in the shed. 2 foot long for the Reese's. Do you need that? And family size. She gonna eat that straight to the face in the car before she get back to the house. But anyway, let's keep on going.
Food stamps is going to be boring right now. They don't even take it.
Look, we haven't maybe cut the light off. No, it's okay. Come on. Let's just get the stuff. Come on.
Oh, she said keep it. She gonna keep it. Okay.
Huh, what's the balance?
Girl, so we can't buy no candy.
$14. $14.92.
$14.92. Okay.
They don't take Reese's or food stamps no more. No candy. So they went live when they said they're gonna take out all the snacks. They're taking away all the snacks on EBT. What's the point of having it?
Hey, they're taking off all the snacks from EBT. So what's the point in having it? I thought it was about nutrition. Okay. Ain't that what the N in SNAP stands for? Nutrition. I don't think that a Reese's cup, a whole big 3-foot long track of Reese's cups is nutritious. I don't think them muffins, them blueberry, strawberry, whatever kind of muffins you had, I don't think that's nutritious. I don't think your little juice, your little Capri Sun, I don't think that's nutritious, okay? So put all that stuff back. All righty, there we go. There we go. So what do y'all think? Hey, hold on. I think we're off to a great start. I love it. I love it personally. I've been waiting for this. Listen, RFK Jr., if I see you in person, man, I owe you a handshake, a beer, whatever you need, bro. Hey, a handshake and the beer and the steak dinner come on your way, bro, because I've been waiting for this moment all my life. I'll be in Wally World first of the month. EBT card refresh time from the 31st to right around the 5th. And I'm seeing your carts full of junk, garbage. I look at it and I vomit on the inside. I'm like, how do y'all eat that? And it'll be somebody that's in one of the mobility scooters screaming, full of garbage just like that. So I'm glad that this country is taking care of its citizenry by not subsidizing their health failure. We saw the young lady. Look, I ain't trying to be funny, but we see what's going on. All right, looking like Mark Henry a little bit. I'm sorry, that was too far. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I'm saying, I want you, young lady, to live for a long time. And if you're eating stuff like that and you're already kind of over the top with your weight, then it's gonna be a battle. Diabetes, all of that is gonna be in your future. Okay. So yeah, shout out to Trump, shout out to RFK Jr. I love it. I love it. Okay. Pocahontas is talking about, hey, if you want this country to be for the billionaires, vote for Republicans. For everybody else, vote Democrats, okay? From the same people who let in at least 20 million illegal aliens through the southern border to compete with Democrats for resources. Now Democrats saying, oh, I can't afford California anymore. I can't afford it anymore. I got to leave. All right, well, look, it's you who voted for things that made it that way.
Are we running this country for a handful of billionaires, or are we running this country for the American people, for working families? We are focused increasingly on affordability. Donald Trump promised on day one that he was going to lower costs for Americans. And what has he done? The cost of groceries is up. The cost of utilities is up. The cost of health care is up. The cost of housing is up. And the Republicans now have their big signature achievement under Donald Trump's direction, and that is every single Republican in Congress voted to cut health care for 17 million Americans and give trillions of dollars in tax breaks to a handful of billionaires, billionaire corporations, and some extra left over for the millionaires.
Okay, so I got one thing to say. When you say that healthcare was cut for 17 million Americans, what do you mean exactly? What are you talking about? The one guy that I showed who had, 5 or 6 kids and did not want to work, although he was able-bodied and not an old man, like he might have been in his 20s or 30s, just at the house chilling with 5 kids, getting a bunch of money in government assistance? Is that who we're talking about? Or how about the illegal aliens using our healthcare system? I showed the video last time with the woman talking about she works in a hospital in California, and there was a big drop after all the raids happened. We're talking about them? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to understand. And then beyond that, a lot of healthcare had been cut for illegal aliens, like in California, because they can't afford it. So whose fault is that? Is that President Trump's fault? Like, let's put the blame where it should be if you want to blame somebody. And there's no blame to be found for me, because I think that's going to be the right thing. Let's get the illegal aliens off of our government programs. I thought they were here to work, not leech off the government. I was told the illegals are here because Americans don't want to work. So why are they getting government benefits? I don't understand. Make it make sense. I mean, if you're going to get another moocher, we got plenty of them right here. We don't need to import no moochers. Either you're going to work or you're not. Which one is it? And if you're getting helped by the government while you're working, then it's unfair for them to get that while Americans don't get that. Again, going back to Springfield, Ohio, you got the Haitians working at some of these places for the low amount of money, but they also get government funding, much more than those who are native to Ohio, whether you black, white, or whatever. There goes the unfairness. But again, I'm told they're here to work, but we're funding them. We're paying for them out of our tax money, and we lose that extra tax money, plus we don't get the job. So how do we benefit? The company benefits, but we don't. Well, now, this person right here says she's a librarian, and any kind of pro-Trump books, she's not really a fan of. Although she says she doesn't censor. You got to check this out, because the contradiction, the hypocrisy is crazy.
Well, and we're both public librarians, and so our job is sort of to not censor the people from anything.
So you said you're a public librarian.
Yeah.
If you get a Donald Trump book, what do you do with it?
So it's like a junior one, and it'll say, like, who is our current president? And it'll be Donald Trump, and so I'll just gently face it the other way.
Oh my gosh, you're not supposed to do that.
I know.
You're not supposed to do that, Michelle. Okay, I don't want to lose my job. We want all books to be out.
Is that censorship?
Yes.
Yes,
she's censoring it.
It is. I am putting my agenda on the library. It's true. Well, and we're both
Now, let's go back to the top. Let's go back to the top and hear what she said to open this statement. At the end, she says, yes, I do censor Trump books. That's what I do. I do that. Her friend said, nah, don't get me fired. I don't do that. But she said she does censor Trump books. But at the beginning, what did she say? Let's watch it one more time at the beginning.
Well, and we're both public librarians, and so our job is sort of to not censor the people from anything.
So your job is to not censor us from anything except for Trump books, I guess. You make an exception for that. All your principles and all of that go out the window. See, listen. And shout out to my main man, James Klug, right here. You guys go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Again, James Klug. That's Klug with the umlauts over the U. Shout out to him. But she said ain't no censorship. You throw all your principles away because of one particular thing. Me, I keep my principle no matter what. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, it don't matter, because my principles are my principles regardless. If I say I'm this way, I'm going to be that way, and it doesn't matter what the situation or circumstances are. Alrighty, so there we go. We got Jasmine Crockett. I don't want to show her too much. She got enough attention from us, but I'm going to play a little bit of this. Yeah. Saying that Democrats got to save the country. Now, I thought you guys had 4 years from 2020 to 2024. Are we going to just like memory hold that? You guys didn't have 4 years to fix the country. You had 4 years and you did not fix the country. All you did was flood us with illegal aliens. So make that make sense. But let's watch.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going, but right now, all I know is that we've got to do everything that we can to save this country, because right now it feels like we're going to hell, and it doesn't seem like we have a way back. I actually had to leave a congressional delegation trip where we were I was in London at the time with the Judiciary Committee, and it is very frightening to see how much influence this terrible regime is having, not just in this country, but on other countries. It is also terrible that our friends don't know if we can be good friends. We know that Canada is upset with us. We know that Mexico is upset with us. So the only thing that I know is that democracy is hanging by a thread, if that much. And so I do believe that we need to do everything that we can in this moment. And ultimately, the history books will write kindly about us, and we'll see what they write about the other side. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, there we go. So if y'all write the books, if you write a book, if this panel right here, this great esteemed panel, if they write books about history, then they will be favorable to y'all. But if those who are factual and knowledgeable and who have common sense write the books, then it will not be that narrative. Okay, that's how that goes. So yeah, shout out to her. Do you guys think she has a chance of being able to achieve higher office, vice president? Look, if they run a Jasmine Crockett, that'd be so funny. It's clearly going to be Gavin Newsom. It's clearly him. But if they run her, that right there would just make my day if that news comes out. But anyway, so there was a shooting at, Fort Stewart in South Georgia. That's going to be Southeast Georgia. And the person who did the shooting was this gentleman, guy by the name of, I think his name is Cornelius, spelled with a Q at the beginning for some reason. But anyway, he is a soldier, had been there since 2018, had been in the Army since 2018. I don't know about where he was stationed, but they said there was some kind of workplace issue with his fellow soldiers, and he used his own gun. So he shot 5 people, or there were 5 who were injured, and all 5 are going to be okay. So nobody died, thank God.
11 o'clock.
So here's an update from the Army officials. Let's get a little bit of sound here. Okay, give me a second to go ahead and restart that. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right.
Before 11 o'clock, an active duty soldier assigned to Fort Stewart, Georgia, shot and wounded 5 of his fellow soldiers here on Fort Stewart. Thankfully, all are in stable condition and all are expected to recover. The alleged shooter is in custody. We have reestablished security. I have lifted all lockdown measures on Fort Stewart, and there is currently no threat to the local community. I'd like to recognize and thank our Army law enforcement and medical personnel and our partners from local, state, and federal law enforcement and emergency services for their quick response and support. I would also like to thank the brave soldiers who immediately intervened and subdued the shooter. These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties. Our wounded soldiers were initially evacuated to Wynn Army Community Hospital right here on Fort Stewart. All arrived in stable condition, and 3 of the 5 required surgical intervention. 2 have been transported to Memorial Hospital in Savannah, Georgia for additional care. We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat Team. Sergeant Radford has not previously deployed to combat. Sergeant Radford has been interviewed by the Army Criminal Investigation Division and is currently in pretrial confinement, awaiting a charging decision by the Office of the Special Trial Counsel.
All right, there we go. So that is an update from Fort Stewart in Georgia. You had a shooting where 5 got shot, 5 soldiers got shot. They're all going to be okay. Thank God for that. And the guy, I don't know a lot about him, what the motive behind this was. Maybe we're going to figure out in the days and weeks and months ahead. Okay. But he had been there for a long time, 2018. So he did have a DUI prior to this, but the chain of command didn't know. I don't know how that happens, how you could be right. And it probably happened right there in that town. So I don't know how that got past him. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. Now let's get forward here. We got an announcement from Tim Apple, aka Tim Cook, in the White House. There's going to be a bunch of money coming in. Hold on. So they're going to add $100 billion investment in American manufacturing, and the total commitment was going to be $600 billion. So $600 billion total, but $100 billion in American manufacturing. Now, do you guys think that Apple and other tech companies can manufacture here in the USA? Some say they can't manufacture here. Some say it's not possible because China, they got the ability, they got the people for mass production. But ultimately, in my opinion, a lot of the issue with American manufacturing of tech products is the price point, because minimum wage here is $7.25, and if you're going to be working in manufacturing, you're not going to make minimum wage. But over there, it's like $3, the equivalent of $3. And if you're working in manufacturing, like assembling phones, you might make close to that. So there's going to be a big gap in what it costs to get these things produced. And I'm not going to say we got some kind of overabundance of skilled artisans in this country. However, the key factor is the cost. But let's go ahead and watch this. And also, with the cost, that bridge can be, that gap can be narrowed with technology like AI and these machines that can do a bunch of automation. Already in China, there's factories that are what they call dark factories, where there's no human beings really because everything's automated. An entire car, a bunch of cars can be cranked out per day with automation with minimal human involvement. So you're not going to need an army of people just sitting there hunched over or in the actual factory making things. You're going to have guys in there maintaining the equipment, guys in there getting the AI the way it's supposed to be, and quality control. Let's go ahead and watch this here.
I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm very proud to say that today we're committing an additional $100 billion to the United States, bringing our total U.S. investment to $600 billion over the next 4 years. As a part of this, we're launching Apple's American Manufacturing Program. It will spur even more production right here in America for critical components used in Apple products all around the world. And we're thrilled to announce that we've already signed new agreements with 10 companies across America to do just that. First, with today's announcements, I'm proud to say that Apple is leading the creation of an end-to-end silicon supply chain right here in America, from design to equipment to wafer production to fabrication to packaging.
So, do y'all see that happening as far as the production he's talking about in America? Is that realistic? And would it increase the price? I think, you know what I think, just to be totally honest, I think that these phones are a little bit too cheap. And I think they should be a little bit more costly, because people, they kind of just buy they buy the phones every year like it's nothing, like it's just whatever. But these things are very expensive. These things are not like this. To me, this is like a computer. It's like my desktop right here. That's how I look at it. I see it the same way. It shouldn't be something that's super accessible to everybody, in my humble opinion. At least not your flagship, your iPhone Super Pro Ultra Double Max. There should be some phones that are available at a lower price point based on Android software that are available to the regular everyday person. But these big boys right here, they should be more expensive, in my humble opinion.
In Texas, we're working with manufacturers like Texas Instruments, Global Wafers America, and Applied Materials. We're working with Amcor in Arizona and Broadcom and Global Foundries in New York. Thanks to President Trump's vision, and with his help in his first term, we also led the way to bring TSMC to Arizona by committing to be their first and largest customer. Today, they're producing tens of millions of chips for Apple using one of the most advanced process technologies in America today.
Now, if you don't know, TSMC is a chip manufacturer. I think they're probably going to be the global leader of chip manufacturing based in Taiwan. That company is so important that might be worth fighting the war over, but different story, I digress.
We're going to keep working with our suppliers to move even more of this incredibly advanced work to America. And this year alone, American manufacturers are on track to make 19 billion chips for Apple in 20.
Your rare earth industry is dominated by China. They got pretty much everything. It's to the point where if they cut us off, we're just cut off. Nothing we can do. So more American manufacturing, more American mining, maybe here, other parts of the world, if we can do it. We need more American manufacturing, American creation of things. We can't just be a consumer state. There's more to that, but I'll leave it right there. So again, that's Tim Apple, aka Tim Cook, announcing $100 billion to add to the current total of $600 billion they're going to invest into the US of A. Okay, now speaking about the semiconductors and whatnot, Trump's going to put a tariff on that stuff as well.
100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff. Okay? If for some reason you say you're building and you don't build, then we go back and we add it up, it accumulates, and we charge you at a later date. You have to pay, and that's a guarantee. So that's a big statement, and I think the chip companies are all coming back home. They're all coming back. You know, we started with Intel, and gradually Intel was just taken over the coals. They were taken to the cleaners, frankly, and moved to other places, in particular Taiwan. But I think a lot of those companies are coming back, and they're coming back very rapidly. So that's a big statement. 100% tariff. I want to thank you very much, Tim. Would you like to say a few words about your company, please?
Okay. All right, but that's pretty much that right there. So again, shout out to Tim. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And where are we going to go? So Trump's talking about activating National Guard in D.C. because of how violent it's become. Did you guys see what happened to my main man, Big Balls? Okay, so Big Balls from Doge, remember? He got attacked in D.C. because there was a lady who was getting assaulted by some teens, by some youths out there in D.C. So that's Big Balls right there, okay, in better days. And then this is him after he got attacked by them out there in D.C. D.C. been dangerous like that for a long time. And when I was out there many years ago, I used to go to D.C. all the time. When I was a kid, I was living in Virginia. It's right there. And I got family right there in D.C., in the city and outside the city. When I would go, it wasn't, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's a weird place to be. The last time I was there in D.C., I'm seeing homeless teenagers. I'm talking about kids. It's like they about 14, 15 with a book bag, sleeping right in the entryway of a business. I'm like, what is this? Like, normally you see somebody homeless, they look like they might be on drugs and they're kind of older. They're not a child. I'm seeing school-age kids with their book bag, probably with books in it, on the ground at night sleeping. I'm like, DC is weird like that. Okay, they kind of neglect the people, in my humble opinion. But anyway, here is what Trump said about Big Balls getting attacked.
Well, I have to say that somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run. By the way, I have to.
Now, I thought D.C. was already federalized because it's its own entity, so everything got to be federal. It's not part of a state. It's not a state or part of a state. So I would imagine that everything got to be federal in a place like D.C. You get charged with a crime, you're going straight to the federal detention center. Where else are you going to go? But you going to go to Virginia? That's not D.C. So I'm kind of confused about how that whole thing works. But ultimately, if it's not federalized, yeah, go ahead and do that. And if that works to get the crime under control, then so be it. So be it. Say left Doge? Okay. Well, guys, they might not be there forever, just for a little while, just for long enough to, get some things accomplished. That's what I would say. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. So we got Trump on the roof of the West Wing of the White House above the press and briefing room. Okay, just out there. And it's kind of a random thing because normally you don't see anybody up there. And what it looked like was pretty obvious. Trump is a builder. That's what he did for a living for before the White House. So, of course, as a builder, you want to inspect the site. You want to see, okay, we're going to put this here. We're going to put that there. So you're probably doing the same thing up there on top of the roof.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Come down and talk to us.
What are you building?
Are you considering more renovations, sir?
Are you going to build up
Aye,
there?
sir.
Mr. President.
So what's it going to be up there on top of the West Wing of the White House? Is it going to be a ballroom extension? Somebody said that's going to be where they had the UFC fight. That'd be funny. But what if that's going to happen up there? What's going to be the thing? I read some of the comments on my video. Some of y'all said it's going to be a dome for the ballroom. Some said, like what I was talking about, it could be like an upper level to the press and briefing room, a little podcast room, or put the press up there. Hey, put the press up there upstairs and leave the podcast guys downstairs. How about that? But nah, what do y'all think will be done up on top of the West Wing of the White House above the press and briefing room? Y'all let me know. And Israeli Hotel. Y'all love them J's. That's the funniest thing in the world is seeing people talk about, I don't want to get into it. I promise I don't want to get into it. Okay, let's keep rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, we got some numbers to get through. Okay, high tariffs, low immigration. Let's check it out and see what's going on. Hold on, before I get to it, somebody says a hit tub in the pool, a Sam's Club, a club, miniature golf. Hey, mini golf would be fun. That'd be funny. Hit golf balls off the roof. Yeah, if you could hit the balls off the roof. Like, I don't want it to be a contained mini golf thing. I want you to be able to golf off the roof. That'd be what I want, okay? An island of sorts. Y'all love that. Okay. JV says ABL hates Mazet. I have no idea what that is. I don't know nothing about that. A planetarium. A driving range. So we'll see. But a driving range, hit the golf balls off the roof. That'll be my selection. We got some numbers here. Check it out.
Like it, lump it. Trump's remaking the United States of America. We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s in FDR, Omar.
And the effective tariff rate is up from 2% last year, for those that might see the banner there. Tariffs, though, aren't the only way Trump's remaking policy in America, right?
It is not the only way that Trump is remaking America. What are we talking about? Well, let's jump. The other big thing that Trump ran on, right, was immigration. How about net migration into the United States? Get this. It's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years. And that is a big reason why that I'm saying that Trump, at least in my mind, is the most influential president, certainly this century, and probably dating a good back chunk into the 20th century as well.
Right on. So I'm loving it. That right there is music to my ears. It is music to my ears. I love it because the migrant crisis, that was such a big problem. Like, that has been my focus for years now, years. So I'm glad we're tackling that. And with the tariffs, that's also a good thing because we can't just keep letting other countries dump whatever they want on us, just dumping their trinkets and gadgets. That's killing our wealth. It's siphoning wealth from us because we're not getting the productivity to sell these things to ourselves. We're just consuming. And if we don't produce, we'll consume until we can't consume anymore. We'll be bled dry from our own consumption. And the migrants coming in, taking resources from us, draining the pot that way. We can't keep doing that. What are Americans going to do for money? What are we going to do for resources, food, water, shelter? What are we going to do if it all goes to some other country? That's my question. So yeah, shout out to the tariffs. Shout out to Trump for making it happen. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty, we got RFK Jr. The main man, the girl earlier, tell me something, I don't want to go to a fat camp. Maybe that might be a good idea if RFK does develop the fat camp. We got the fitness test back. I like that. Run the mile, stretch, do all that good stuff. That was the craziest article talking about, oh, well, we shouldn't have the fitness test because I got embarrassed because I couldn't do a pull-up in front. Okay, you couldn't do a pull-up in front of your classmates, so we should not have a test. We should just let these kids be 12 years old and 400 pounds. We got to do something. We can start with what RFK is talking about as far as the nutrition. That got to be the focus, among other things.
At every level, from the doctors, the hospitals, to the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies, people make money by keeping Americans sicker. And today we have the sickest population in the world. More than 60% of our kids have chronic disease. When my uncle was president, I was a 10-year-old boy. It was 3%.
We're talking about 1960 to 1963.
Around, yeah. And today it's gone up to 60%. So about 8 in 10 American kids cannot qualify for military service. We have obesity crises. We have diabetes crises. The autism rates in our population. In 1970, we had the largest epidemiological study ever performed, found that about 0.7, so less than 1 out of 10,000 Americans had autism. And today, the latest data from CDC, which is one of my agencies, is 1 in every 31 kids. 1 in about every 20 boys. In California, which has the best data collection of any state, we have probably the most accurate, so it's probably worse than this, is 1 in every 19 children has autism, at 1 every 12.8 boys. And so we need to really change, we need to pivot at this agency and make it, and begin at every level, changing these perverse incentives which make people rich by keeping us safe.
All right, so again, shout out to RFK. Now, I was reading this article from New York Post. A liberal wrote it, obviously. As I was reading it, I could tell. I mean, sometimes you can read some of these papers and it's not that bad, but New York Post, this article, not New York Post, it was New York Times, pardon me. New York Times. Post is the conservative Rupert Murdoch. Anyway, New York Times article, liberal guy wrote it, talking about RFK and the autism claims. And the gist of the article was, we don't have more autism, we just have more diagnosis. Because back in the day, we had autistic people, but there was such a severe underdiagnosis of it then that we didn't know. So there could be a rise, but the person was arguing that the rise is because of more diagnosis. Now, I think that's BS, because just going out and about and talking to people and just seeing things, observing things, people are different. People now, the younger generation, they're different than we were. Not all of them, not in a negative way necessarily, but there's a difference. I most certainly see it. So I don't think it's about a matter of diagnosis being the reason why there's more autism. I think there's more autism, and I don't know what's causing it. I don't want to say what I really think. Matter of fact, I'm going to say it. It was a Jewish, anyway. I think what happened is that you got a lot of older parents having kids for the first time, and they're also more unhealthy. Older and unhealthier parents may have kids that have struggles. I'm not saying that's always the case, so don't shoot me. But I think that could be contributing to the increase, plus all the vaccinations, because what they get right now is a lot more than what I got when I was a kid in school. Plus they want to say, okay, take the flu shot and this shot and that shot, and then you got kids on Ozempic and all kind of stuff. It's too many drugs that are just freely given to children, and you got unhealthy parents, older parents, all of that coming together. We get a bad combination. Define older. Well, I'm not trying to attack anybody. Don't nobody get offended. But in general, people are having kids older. So I'm not sure what it was like in 1990, 1980. Okay, now I got to see. Now you're making me do some research. So what was the average age of first-time parents in 1980? All right, that's a question I'm going to ask. And so in 1980, the average age of the first-time parent was 22.7. 22.7. Now, in 1970, it was 21.4. Now, by 2013, that rose to 26. Now, what is it right now in 2025? Let me see if I can get close data. 2025 probably won't be 2025, probably like 2020. So now it's 27.5. So you go from 22.5 to 27.5. So that's the increase from 1980 to right now, 2025. And again, in 1970, it was 21.7. So that's a big difference. There's a big age difference right there. We're older and we're a lot more unhealthy. We got the obesity rates climbing, the age of first children climbing, plus all the vaccinations, which are much more and more frequent, I think, than they were in previous years. That's what's going on. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to say that if you had a baby when you get to be past 25 that you're going to be, but you understand what I'm saying, because that's the average age. I'm seeing people talking about they 45 years old having kids. I'm like, all right, if you're a man, all right, that's one thing. But a woman having a baby at 45 for the very first time, I just don't really understand. I don't really understand. That's right. First time moms in their late 30s. I don't get it. I would not want to put a woman through that personally, but don't nobody get offended at me. Do not shoot the messenger. That's all I am. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, now the runaway Democrats. Okay, the runaway Democrats out there in Texas. So I did my short video today, and a lot of you guys appreciated that. It kind of got to the point pretty quickly. I said on my live stream last night I was going to not do them any 10-minute. I'm gonna still do probably about 2 of those a day. But anyway, the runaway Democrats, what they did was flee the state of Texas so they could stop or delay the proceedings on the vote for redistricting in the state. When they redistrict, it's projected to flip 4 out of the 5 seats that'll be affected from Democrat to Republican. Now, there's accusations of gerrymandering, which is when you draw congressional districts to benefit one party over the other and not for the benefit of those who are going to be in the district. That's the accusation. The reality is that these are going to be mostly Hispanic Republican districts, and they don't want to be lumped in with their Democrat neighbors because that Democrat rep does not represent them and their interests. And I 100% understand that, because where I am right here, this pretty much MAGA country. Okay, everybody out here, they Trump, they got flags, it's fine, and it's cool, no problems out here, it's all good. I would not want to be up under a Democrat umbrella of the neighboring little town. Y'all keep that stuff over there. Y'all keep all of that extra, LGBT, keep that over there on that side of the ridge cut, the mountain range over there. Don't bring that across the mountain. So that's what I think is happening. They're trying to help the conservative Hispanics in Texas. But the liberals say, well, that's going to give you guys power, because once these seats get flipped, as they are projected to flip, it's going to help the U.S. House. Because right now it's 219 Republicans to 212 Democrats, and there's 4 vacancies that are not filled. And I think 3 of the vacancies were Democrats, 1 Republican. But anyway, you take away 4 seats from the Democrats, you go from 212 to 208, and you add 4 to the Republican side, you go from 219 to 223. So rather than 219 and 212, it's 223 to 208. That's a bigger gap in the U.S. House as far as the advantage Republicans have over the Democrats. Democrats don't want that. So now in California, they're trying to actually really gerrymander. They say, oh, it's going to be a response to you guys on what you're doing. We're going to flip some Republican seats blue. That's gerrymandering, but they're doing it in California and Illinois, and they've been doing that for a very long time, but I digress.
Texas House Democrats will not be returning to their home state, despite Governor Abbott's warning that they could face removal from office if they are not back by 4 o'clock Eastern time today. Instead, they just announced a press conference at 7 p.m. And where are they? In Warrenville, Illinois, is where those Texas representatives will be speaking from, just about an hour outside of Chicago this evening around 7 o'clock. They've been in Illinois. They've been in other states. They're protesting this GOP effort to redraw the congressional map. We know that both sides, Republicans and Democrats, are pretty good at getting very creative in carving out these lines. The Texas governor feels this is a legitimate move. The president supports it as well. We'll see where this whole thing goes. We'll be watching. Texas House Democrats will not. All right, there we go. So eventually they got to come back. They got to come back. And if I'm one of their constituents, I'm like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing up there in Champaign, Illinois, or wherever you at? Springfield, Illinois, Backwater, Nowhereville, USA. Why are you out there? You got to come back to Austin, Texas and vote. And you know what? Something else. It's not just a vote on redistricting. There's also flood legislation. Remember the flood happened in the San Antonio area, right? Remember that just happened recently? So they're holding that up. If I am in San Antonio, I'm like, okay, can y'all come back to Texas to get this resolved? Y'all just creating the problem for no reason, because ultimately it's only for a little while and they got to come right back. They got to come right back. Okay, but let's check it out here. So this person is Gina Hinosa, and she's a Texas state rep, I believe in Austin, Texas, of course, right? Now, she's talking about the whole thing about Greg Abbott threatening to arrest her. And in Texas, there's a law that says if you are a rep and you refuse to vote, you can be arrested civilly and be forced to go back to Austin and vote. Now, a civil arrest is not a criminal, meaning you're not going to get locked up. All they can do is make you vote, and it only applies in Texas. That's why they fled to Illinois and whatever, because if they're anywhere in Texas, they can be forced to vote. But if they leave and go to Illinois, now they kind of like hiding out, and they can't really be touched. It's like going to
a place with no extradition.
I'm State Representative Gina Hinojosa, and yesterday Texas Republicans issued an arrest warrant for myself and my colleagues, and today still there was no quorum on the floor of the House. I am so proud of my colleagues. I'm so proud of Texans, and I'm so proud to be a part of this effort. I get asked all the time, what does tomorrow look like? What does the next day look like? Here's what I know. We fight to win today. Tomorrow is a new day. We assess and we take action. I'm reminded of a quote by former Governor Ann Richards. She said this, the here and now is all we have, and if we play it right, it's all we need. Thank you for your support.
I mean, it's useless because you got to go back. This ain't going to age well. You're going to be back in a little while to vote. All you did was just delay it for a little while. You're just trying to get some attention, maybe do some fundraising and stuff like this, but it won't really go anywhere. Y'all did this before. I did it in 2021, and it was the same result. You got to come back and still vote. Ain't going to be no concessions. You got to come back and vote. And if you don't, then I would suggest you go ahead and resign if you can't do your job. Okay, now this is going to be Jolanda Jones, and she's also a Texas House rep. All righty, let's see what she got to say about the situation.
I'm a lawyer. A part of my practice is criminal defense work. There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit, okay? He's trying to get sound bites, and he has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York, so he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors, and I'm hopeful that the media doesn't follow that. I will also say this, I'm a lawyer.
Okay, so there's so much. First of all, what's up with all this extra, like, I gotta, you and Jasmine, y'all like, it's probably your daughter or something, like, what's going on? But look, ultimately, he might not be able to come get you because they ain't gonna extradite for no civil situation. You're not about to go to the penitentiary. But how long are you gonna be out there in motels, hotels, Holiday Inns, Airbnbs, friends' houses, couches? How long would you just not be in Texas doing your job as a House rep? How long are you going to be doing that? Because if it's me, I'm trying to get y'all fired. If I'm a constituent, I'm trying to get y'all fired. I don't care if I'm a Democrat or Republican. It's like, bro, you got to do your job. It's the same thing I said about Dan Bongino. It's like, all right, Dan, look, I get it. You got some stress going on. It's a rough job. It's not doing the podcast. I understand. But you are the deputy FBI director. Go back to work, bro. Go back to work. Same thing with you, Miss Who Earrings and, whatever. Go back to work. What are you doing? So, yeah. Shout out to the people that are actually at work doing their jobs. Shout out to them. That's always a good thing. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far and know what to do, please give the video a thumbs up. Mr. Okay, so now we're talking about California and their redistricting. You see the headline right here. California Republican warns Newsom, a.k.a. Newscum, trying to axe GOP districts. Check it out.
Speaker, in 2010, California voters overwhelmingly voted to establish a Citizens Redistricting Commission. The voters said, we want to take the process of drawing district lines out of the hands of politicians. They said that voters should choose their politicians. Politicians shouldn't choose their voters. And that commission has drawn our district lines through the last 2 rounds of redistricting. And yet now, the governor of California has announced a plan to abolish the Citizens Redistricting Commission and to seize its powers for himself. He initially proposed simply ignoring the commission, ignoring the Constitution, and overriding his maps with those that he and the legislature drew. But apparently someone told him that that would get immediately struck down in court. So now what they are plotting is a special election where they will use confusing ballot language and other means of deception to try to convince voters, to fool voters, into dismantling the very independent commission that they recently established. And the point of this is that the governor would like to reduce the representation of Republicans in Congress in our state to 3 members out of 52.
So there you go. See what's happening? That right there is called gerrymandering. You're really trying to eliminate the GOP's presence in California. And shout out to the Californians out there. I pray for y'all. I really do. Because I know it's a lot of good guys and girls out there in the Golden State on the left coast. It's a lot of y'all. But with Lord Gavin just doing whatever, it's rough. It's really, you're surrounded by idiocy when it comes to your leadership. That's the chief problem with California, in my humble opinion. Okay, that is going to be the chief problem. Now, the 2021 remapping, aka redistricting in Illinois, it got an F. It was graded an F by the Princeton Gerrymandering Project. Okay, let's watch some of this and see what's going on.
Try the 2021 remapping in Illinois, which took away one Republican congressional seat. Illinois' maps, like those in Texas, have been graded an F by the Princeton Gerrymandering Project.
There's no bigger hypocrite.
So look. Check it out. Look at that map right there. Look at that. That's going to be your Illinois map. You can tell right here. Obviously, that's going to be Chicago. So gerrymandering, is that what we're talking about happening in Texas? For real? Oh, okay. Well, explain this. What in the 3,000 puzzle piece on a Tuesday night is this?
Project.
There's no bigger hypocrite on the topic of gerrymandering than Governor J.B. Pritzker. He ran on the promise of delivering fair maps to the people of Illinois, and he signed the most blatantly partisan gerrymandered maps in the entire country.
To decry that.
So, I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about gerrymandering. Like, let's actually go to where the gerrymandering is happening. Are they drawing animal shapes? Hey, man, I don't know what is going on with those maps. Hey, you guys gotta ask me. You guys got to ask me. Okay, now look, this is going to be Maryland. Okay, you see some of these maps right here. Baltimore, that area. Look at these maps. Look at all of this. It's just a mess. Annapolis and Arundel. Look at all that. I mean, come on. Gerrymandering? All right. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Is that what happened, Baltimore? You had a few drinks and drew the map? Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. Okay, now check this out. The governor of Massachusetts, Maura Healey. Hold on. Did I already play this before? Oh, yeah. Okay. This is going to be illegal alien rental assistance. They get $30,000 over the course of 2 years to help with rent. See, this is what I'm talking about. If the migrants are such a good benefit to our country and they're going to work and Americans don't want to work, if that's the case, then why are we the people funding them? Let's watch.
The Massachusetts GOP is criticizing Governor Maura Healey over a new report that shows shifting shelter costs to the state's home-based program. The program provides rental assistance to migrant families. According to the report, Massachusetts is on pace to spend $97 million on the home-based program in the current fiscal year. The state spent approximately $9.5 million on housing at-risk families. Massachusetts Republican Party Chair Amy Carnevale released a statement following the release of the report, saying in part, quote, "As much as Maura Healey would like the public to think that she's improving the system, the data tells a different story." The Massachusetts...
All right, so hold on. I got a little bit of data I want to read right quick. Just a little bit of data. So she's giving $30,000 to each illegal alien family to help them move into homes. Maura Healey is shifting shelter costs to the state's home-based program. The program provides rental assistance to migrant families, $30,000 in a 24-month period per family. Reported each family also can get up to $4,000 per month in EBT cash, $500 per month for food, which ain't no more than that's the EBT bonus, free healthcare and free cable. See what I'm saying? It's like, well, look, if you get all that, what's the point in working? And if you do work, you just getting icing on the cake. See, that's the problem. These jobs, the jobs don't pay much, but it doesn't matter because they get all of that from the government. Meanwhile, you as an American work that same job and get paid maybe a fraction more than the migrant, probably not that much more, probably the same thing without all the government incentives. When you work as an American, those taken away, but for them, it's fine. They could just live on that and work at the same time. They double, triple, dipping all over the place. Hey, see, that right there is probably the biggest issue with the migrant crisis. The unfair treatment. They do whatever they want, get whatever they want, not Americans. But guess what? It's your taxpayer money paying for everything. All of it. All of it. Okay, so look. Now let's get into some money situations here. So this guy's talking about getting raises, but then things cost more at the same time to getting this raise. Okay, a little bit of language, but not too much.
What are you pissed about now?
Same thing 2 years in a row. I got a raise. It was awesome. And Blue Cross Blue Shield got word that I got a raise and said, oh, fuck that. I want all the raise plus $217 a month. Insurance premiums are up 91%. So you get a raise, which is good, and then the insurance is like, fuck you. It's like a cake with nuts in it. It's like free pop, and you get up there, and it's fucking Pepsi. I've already talked about that. It's syrupy, and it tastes like shit. It's like you get out of the shower, you're squeaky clean, and then you're like, oh, I got a shit.
All right, that's enough cussing, but you get the idea. You get the idea. Okay, you get a raise, but then the money you get is taken by bills. Okay, bills going to go up. In this case, it's the insurance that goes up, but it'll get taken. Let's just here's where I can really just get it down to an easier level. Remember years ago, they had the movement Fight for 15. Remember the movement Fight for 15? Okay, you have that movement, and the purpose was to raise minimum wage from $7.25 on the federal level to $15. I said back then, and I still say the same thing now, which is obvious to anybody that understands this at all. When you raise the wages artificially, there's going to be an adjustment because now you have more money. The floor has just been increased. The way the prices are is based on your current wage. Once you go up like that, especially when it's going to be artificial, the company you work for has to raise prices ultimately to pay your money. And or they got to let go of some people. So you're going to have job loss. You're going to have job loss and inflation when you artificially raise wages. Same thing with COVID-19, all the printing of the money. When you just print money out of the thin blue sky with no productivity to back it, what's going to happen is you're going to have inflation because you have more money and you're able to buy more things. That's going to put a strain on the supply chain because of the high demand. The only way to reduce the demand is to make the supply more expensive. That's called inflation. And that's happening right here. You got a raise, you're getting some more money. There's more money just injected. Okay, let me get that. You're just raising the floor. So back to the whole thing, 5 for 15. At one point, $15 was seen as a lot of money, but now it's regular. McDonald's right here, they paying $15 starting. And it's not even really, no super expensive, ritzy, fancy area. They starting right there, $15. So now that's the new minimum wage. So now they want $30 and $100, and it will go on and on and on and on. But the only way to really increase your buying power, because you can get $7.25 and that's fine. But ultimately, your buying power will be the equivalent of $7.25 the way it was about 10 years ago. You got more money, but you didn't actually get any more buying power. You're still in the same situation. The way to increase buying power is to increase your skills in the marketplace. That's the only way. If you're not doing that, you can just get more money artificially through a raise that's imposed upon them by outside forces, but it's not gonna actually help you. But yeah, hopefully everything works out, bro. Hopefully everything works out just fine. Now, look, this is what a lot of your homeless, quote unquote, have done to Denver, Colorado. And you know what? I saw this coming as well. I said it. I was like, hey, you know what? If you legalize weed in Denver, it's going to go downhill because, and don't nobody get offended. I know y'all love to smoke weed and it's fine. Don't nobody get offended. ABL, cannabis is harmless. It's a plant that grows. Don't shoot me. I'm just saying. It was obvious when you bring in the legalized weed to Denver, you're going to attract people that like to use all kind of drugs, not just weed. You're not getting Cheech and Chong. You're getting guys that smoke meth all day. Okay, guys that's 100 pounds, soaking wet, and love their Fetty Wap. You're going to get them to come to Denver because it's like a little California type spot. A little, mountainous California. And I get to smoke crack all day. That's what's happening. So you're going to get a lower quality person who is migrating to your area, which makes the entire area go downhill. Okay, but let's watch some of this. This is Cherry Creek and Platte River Trail in Denver, Colorado.
Hey everyone, this is happening in Denver, Colorado. This is the trail to Cherry Creek and Platte River that takes you around Denver and Cherry Creek. This is another big issue. As you can see, the homeless people took it over to camp and hang out, but they destroyed this place. They're getting high and trashing the place and causing issues. Just imagine if they kept it somewhat clean. If they didn't make it ghetto and dangerous. This is why many people are upset and recording things, so people can see what's really happening. Hey everyone, this
terrible. And the thing about Denver is that it is supposed to be an outdoorsy place. You want to have places to go outside. Like, I like outdoor stuff. So for me, I would go to something like this. But if you got crack and all that kind of, like, if it looks like that, I'm not going down there. I don't care how much I want to get out there on my bicycle or get out there and walk or get out there and jog, run. I'm good, bro. I am good. I'm not going down there if it's looking like that. Okay. And you know what? I always sing Atlanta's praises. Atlanta would never. Atlanta, Georgia would never. You got a few people that like to smoke crack downtown. They pretty much stay right there, though. They would never be on the Beltline like that. Oh, no. The Beltline like that? You might see people that kind of, but nothing like this. Tents on the Beltline, they would never. No. So you go to the Beltline, you could be rollerblading, bicycling, skateboarding, walking. You got restaurants and shops and all kind of stuff right there. You got light rail where the MARTA is right there at a certain point. They would never do stuff like this. And Denver ought to be shaming themselves because they're supposed to be an outdoor place. How are you going to be an outdoor place and you got your outdoor places looking like this? Like, ew. Okay, big tents, it's like California all over again. You've imported the worst parts of California, and you probably didn't get enough of the good part. Okay. You probably did not get enough of the good part, and that's kind of what's going on. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing the comments about, oh, ABL, I love weed. Hey, man, enjoy your weed. But you know what I'm saying is right. You're going to attract the wrong kind of person, which is exactly what's happened. That's why it looks like that out there. Okay.
Here with.
So we got a street interview. How much do you make? We're in Toronto, Canada.
Stefan. What do you do for a living?
I'm an air traffic controller at Toronto Pearson.
How long have you been an air traffic controller for?
About 7 years.
And what got you into this path?
Honestly, my dad did it, so I was always raised with an air traffic controller family. I'm fascinated by airplanes and the high stress environment, so I was always attracted to it.
What type of stress do you usually experience on a day-to-day?
Obviously, the situations we're presented with and making quick decisions. You're the one in charge of making sure planes don't crash in the sky, in simple terms. So I'm telling pilots what to do on a day-to-day basis and ensuring they arrive and take off where they're going safely.
How much do air traffic controllers typically make?
An IFR air traffic controller in Toronto or one of the big centers in Canada like Vancouver, Montreal, Edmonton, and out east, they'll probably make around 200K plus, and they'll start at around 200K. So then it goes up from there. And then in towers as well, big towers will be around 200,000, and then smaller towers anywhere from 100 to 200. And that's just just with a high school degree.
And what's the process like? You said it's really competitive.
Yeah, it's a pretty competitive process. There's no schooling involved. You apply to the company, which is NAV Canada. There's a lot of interview stages and aptitude tests that you need to pass. It's a pretty drastic cutoff rate there. Once you get in, then it's like a waiting period, and then you could get moved around the country. Once you start your training, a job's not guaranteed. You have 2 years of training, including passing exams and simulator stuff. So usually about 25% make it out.
Have you guys began implementing AI?
Getting there, yeah, with small tools, but it's a job with a lot of variables, so it'll be around for a long, long time.
What advice do you have for anybody that would want to become an air traffic controller?
It may seem a little discouraging, like the whole entry process, and the success rate to becoming one is pretty low. The reward is high at the end, and you just kind of have to put your head down and work and stick with it and be passionate. And that's like with anything you do. You have to have the passion for the job. If you have that, you'll be able to become successful.
So there you go. So my man is, again, an air traffic controller out there in Canada. So what do y'all think? Would you guys want to do that? Making pretty good money, you know, 20,000, 100,000, pretty good money. And of course, it's high stress, yes. But listen, you can't, it's hard to make a lot of money without really doing a lot, putting yourself through a lot, push yourself to the limit. You got to really go be above and beyond and do things that are going to be difficult. And that's part of it. Got to be smart, got to understand what you're doing, got to be able to stay in a high stress environment. That's all part of it, 100%. So yeah, shout out to, he said small tools. Like it ain't nothing like, okay, we're going to have the AI do the air traffic. Nah, the human being still got to understand what's going on in the air. You still got to be able to see in the towers and stuff like this. You still got to be able to see what's going on. AI, that ain't going to do nothing but just answer an email or something like this. Are you guys open? Some kind of silly, anyway. How much do plumbers make? Now, there's going to be a big range, in my opinion, of numbers about plumbers. But plumbing, I tell y'all all the time about these trades. AI cannot come to your house and dig up some pipes and fix your plumbing for you. AI cannot do that. AI cannot even unclog your toilet. So plumbing is still going to be around. If you got AI that can do plumbing, I don't even, at that point, ain't no more human beings. So I think plumbing is most certainly an AI safe job, but let's check it out. How much do plumbers make?
What do you do for a living?
I'm a plumber.
Cool. How long have you been doing that?
Maybe about 4 years now.
4 years. And how much do you make?
Well, it's depending on the amount of work I do, but roughly between 90 and 110,000 a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah.
How do you get into plumbing? Any advice for others who are interested in it?
Well, there's a lot of companies that, if people want to get into it, they'll just send you to school for free.
Okay.
And then give you a job after that.
Pause. My man says he makes between 90 and 110,000, and the companies will send you to school for free. So you're talking about going to college, racking up student loan debt to do general studies, underwater basket weaving, a BS degree that means nothing, or you can go to school for a specialized skill for free, go out there and make money, and you can have this skill for a long time. You could be independent, self-employed, start your own business, whatever you want to do. Travel the country, travel the world.
Companies.
The FH Fur does it. Michael & Son does it. They're really hurting for tradespeople right now, so there's a lot of business for everybody.
I'm a legal assistant.
Cool.
And I'm a plumber.
Awesome. How long have you been in those roles?
I just started about a month ago, so it's a new job.
Been about 6-7 years or so.
How much do you make in your role?
I make $21 an hour.
Nice. Do you feel well compensated? Do you feel like that's good market rate for where you base?
Yeah, we're in Buffalo. I do feel like it's fairly compensated because it's not super hard work or anything like that, but it is a well-paying job with good benefits.
Yeah,
so
love to know that. Okay, what about you?
I have a rental property as well, but just with the plumbing as well, I make about $26-27 an hour.
Nice. So. Do you feel well compensated as a plumber? Do you feel like you're making competitive pay?
I would say so, yeah, absolutely.
So he has kind of maybe a little bit of a lower salary than the other guy, but he's also in Buffalo, New York, so you're not really in the big place. So I guess it depends on where you live as well, and like what you're doing, when you started, all of that kind of goes into it. So yeah, shout out to the plumbers, shout out to all the guys out there, all the trades guys getting that money. All right, shout out to the trades guys getting that money. Now, a lot of y'all ask for, I see this quite a bit on the internets.
oh, where's the $800 apartments, the $700 apartments? You can get an apartment for $800. You can get an affordable apartment, but there's going to be a caveat.
Hey.
You might not really like it. That's going to be the thing, okay? Oh, these apartments are too expensive. They cost $2,000, $3,000. You're looking at these nice luxury apartments in a nice part of town. Okay, you're looking at stuff like that. But that might not be in your price range. You might need to get something like this for $875 out there in Hollywood, Florida, not Hollywood, LA. You are not getting anything for $875 in Los Angeles, California. Okay, that might be your dinner bill for one night, not rent nowhere. But check this out. Again, this is $875 in Hollywood, Florida.
Guys, come check out this 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom and a half with me, located in Hollywood. This is such a great unit, but as always, I count on you guys to let me know your opinion in the comments below. Let's begin this tour. Starting off, you do have this lovely kitchen with all stainless steel appliances. This kitchen was recently updated, so you're practically getting a brand new kitchen. You do have the wooden cabinets, which is very, very nice, and it complements the stainless steel appliance.
Let's go back. I did see a security door right there. Okay, I see a security door through the drapes. So you already know what that means.
Recently updated, so you're practically getting a brand new kitchen. You do have the wooden cabinets, which is very, very nice, and it complements the stainless steel appliances. Here is your guest bathroom. So cute, so demure. You know, I think it's great when the units offer the ability for your guests to have their own bathroom. This is your AC closet with some additional storage space. And here is the 360 of your entire living room area. Check that out. It is very, very spacious, and you have these nice full-size mirror for selfies all day, especially if you're a content creator. I think it's just great. This is your huge balcony. Look how long it is.
Now let's take a look at the surroundings, so we understand where we at. Okay, the little courtyard right there. Hey man, they're gonna be out there playing football 1 minute, the next minute they're gonna be shooting. But hopefully it's a nice, peaceful community.
Long it is, and you do have a nice view. This is an additional closet space that you have. Look at the green, look at the scenery, so relaxing, so fulfilling. This is your entire bedroom area, very spacious as well, and you have a lot of closet space. Check this out. This is the first closet space. Now look at this, you guys, your own vanity with mirror. I mean, if you like to do makeup, hair, this it's just perfect for you. This is your walk-in closet. Check it out. And then you have another closet here to the right, smaller, but you can also fit some stuff. And this is your bathroom that does have a tub. Let me know what you think. Follow me for more.
All right, there you go. So that's $875. Okay, in Florida, Hollywood, Florida. What do y'all think? Is that a good deal? Would you move there? Would you live there? Would you feel safe out there in Hollywood, Florida? And for you guys in the area, how is that neighborhood? I done heard about Hollywood. I done heard that it's some, you know what I mean, some spots that might be a little treacherous. But that might be what you need to get if you can't really afford more than that. And it didn't look that bad. Now, I wonder if the roaches were just, because, sometimes you got roaches that understand humans. They kind of just stay away for a while. It's like, all right, she ain't here doing her video, but ain't going to come out. But when she leave, you're going to come right back out and get right back to the party. So, Butthead says, spot a roach. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying that could be a thing if you're living out on the spot like that. But overall, it wasn't that bad, though. I didn't think it was really bad. I thought it was all right. I thought it was a pretty decent place. But hey, seeing it like that is one thing. But what I always tell people is you want to go at night. If you're going to move into an apartment anywhere and you don't know the neighborhood like that, ask around first, but also go at night, because that's when you see the real neighborhood. That's when you see all the ne'er-do-wells, the neighborhood crackhead who be out there all the time. That's when you see him. That's when you see Bill, the local dope smoker, and his shenanigans. That's when you see that. Okay, I got one more here. This is going to be Kroger, the grocery store, of course. Now, guess how much a pound of ground beef costs? I'm not really a ground beef guy at this point, but guess how much a pound of ground beef costs? And this is going to be 93% lean.
93% lean ground beef. How much does it cost? And for a little context, in 2016, this person says it was $371. But what is it right now? It's not $371. Let's take a look. $9.49. Let's watch.
I'm sorry, I just hallucinated.
Okay, so is that a good price, bad price? Let me know. Because I'm not a ground beef purchaser. For 1 pound, a lean ground, basically $10. So is that a good deal, bad? You let me know in the comments. I'm seeing some of y'all say 12, 10, 8.90. So you're pretty much right on it. That's about right. Okay, but it was not that way just a few years ago. All right. Everyday low price. Right, exactly. Low how? Low how? That's going to be Kroger. That's what they said it was at Kroger. See, it's right there, Kroger ground beef. Yeah, not Publix. But they're similar, I guess you would say. Kroger and Publix, they're similar. I like both of them for the same reason. It's kind of like a nice store. A nice, well-maintained store. You know, for sure. It ain't like going back in the day to B-Low, going to B-Low or Rack and Sack. It wasn't like going there. Or that one store that had the city funding in Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, I'm not going to no ghetto store like that. I refuse to go to some ghetto store. It stinks inside. I'm good. I want to go to if I go into a store and I smell anything that's kind of weird, I'm leaving. If I smell a smell, I'm like, y'all got something that you don't know is stinking somewhere. You need to go ahead and take care of that. But if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, I got some super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. What state was it? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what state it was. Okay, thank you to Kai's Proximus, who says we need to go back to analog and live like the 80s. Man, I wish we could. I tried so hard to hang on to those days. Like I said, I didn't get my first full screen phone like this until 2018. So I was well into my 30s. I'm 34 years old. 34 years old, my very first full screen smartphone. Before that, I had my BlackBerry. I love that BlackBerry. I love that BlackBerry so much. I tried to keep it, but they told me, you got to stop. You got to get the full screen phone because that's where everybody's at. And then I got told I got to get an iPhone because everybody got an iPhone and you got to communicate. I'm like, again, I'm that old man looking at TikToks like in disbelief. Like, have I become this? Have I become this? Hold on. I'm going to try to find that clip, but just keep it in the tuck. Anyway, thank you to Apple, who says those big balls got swarmed. Trump and feds rule DC. Well, they may need to. Apple again says, shout out to Stephen Colbert for calling out Pritzker. Interesting. Thank you to Jones, who says, love your content. ABL, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL, you're going to tour USA, fans meet and greet, book, all of that. All of that is in the works for sure. I'm doing all of that. And I will let you guys know as soon as I start, but I am doing it. Kai's Proximus says, ABO, they got Lizzo looking like a whole Mack truck. Yeah, I can't do nothing with Lizzo. Lizzo is just, I just don't understand. Thank you to Summer Shield, who says, epic ABL, I was waiting for your reaction. Thank you for that. Thank you to the White Man for the peace sign, thumbs up emoji. Well, not the thumbs up, the peace sign. Thank you to Sonia C., who says, regarding undocumented persons, if the Supreme Court rules that birthright citizenship is only for babies born to parents who have an allegiance to the U.S., may change all districts eventually. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what you mean. Are you saying that if there was a change to birthright citizenship that people will be deported? I'm not sure, because the change will only affect children born after the change. So if you were an anchor baby in 1997, that's not going to change your status if they change it by what the Supreme Court is talking about. It's only going to happen after they make the change. So it's like a 6-month period or something like that. I forget what they said. But yeah, it's not going to affect any existing anchor babies. So beyond that, I'm not quite sure what you meant. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Let's get to the calls. Again, a number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description. It'll also be right there, right on time, 706-406-3287, right there in the ticker below the video on the screen. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. All right. But yeah, the whole thing with the citizenship, yeah, go ahead and change that right now. Birthright. The anchor baby law, I don't like that at all. They take advantage of us, use us. No more. The time for that is over with. And like I said, there was a lady from South Korea, a politician, and their laws say that you have to do at least 2 years of service if you're born in South Korea as a South Korean. Well, what she did was her kids were born in the USA. So when they grow up and become 18, there's no military service requirement for them because they were born in USA. They were not born in South Korea. They're born in USA. And as a bonus, you're able to get US citizens. So that's an entryway into America if you ever want to do it. So you get all the benefits with no penalty. That has got to stop completely. Birth tourism, yeah, it's got to stop. Baltar says, you've been here 20 years. You don't pick it no English. Got to get up out of here. I'm with that, man. Like, seriously, if I go to your country, I go to anywhere in the world, and I'm living there, and I refuse to learn your language, it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I got to learn your language if I'm going to live there 20 years. At a certain point, that's called immersion. How do you get immersed and just refuse to learn? If I was in that position in their country, I go ahead and just learn. But again, the number to call, 706-406-3287. All right, I'm reading some of the comments so we get some calls here. And let me just do this because sometimes it messes up. Shout out to Google Voice. Ain't no more Skype. Asylum seekers, all of them, everybody. Everybody got to get up out of here, for sure. And that whole thing about asylum seekers, that's just people who are gaming the system. Because you come from all over, like there are so many countries you could have went to. Okay, how do we have asylum seekers from Africa and Asia, Europe? Like y'all cross oceans, countries, came miles and miles and miles. The flight is 18 hours to come to the USA. And somehow you're seeking asylum from what? Delta first class? Anyway. Who am I speaking to? 301 on the line?
Hey, what's going on? This is Thomas. I called before. How's it going?
It's all right, man. What's happening?
Hey, good show. Good show. There's so many things, but I appreciate you hitting on the good topics today. The one, it was like a while ago, it was like 30 minutes ago or something like that. You were saying, you were giving a story about like $30,000. I think it was going towards the housing, and then they had like the 500 little stipend, and they had they have the internet and all that. Remember that?
Oh yeah. They had free cable, free internet, 500 in food, 4,000 in EBT, SNAP. It was a list of benefits they were getting for illegal aliens.
I bet you they got child care, they got pharmacy,
everything, whatever they need.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, it's like, the thing is, I love legal immigration, right? But what they talking about is Section 1. You know, they got Section 8. They got Section 1. That's what they got.
Exactly.
That's all I wanted to say. I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you for the call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you too, boss.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. The illegal aliens, it's just, again, I'm told they're here to work, but yet they get all these benefits. Make it make sense. I'm speaking to 617. You're on the line.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
You get to a point that you got to cut out your crap, man. You got to cut it off, man. When you gonna cut it out, man?
What are you talking about? What I do?
Okay, so you're talking about people. You know, the previous caller said that they're getting thousands of dollars on food stamp, the illegal aliens. How do you know this is true?
I've already done my research on it. I looked it up. I already done researched it.
So from where? From where do you get the research from?
All over the whole web. The left, the right, the independent, local, national.
I mean, but who issued the food stamps? Which agency issued the food stamp? That I could go and read it right now.
State agencies. So California is one of them that did it. California also had illegal aliens on Medicaid, Medi-Cal, 1 million of them. Just look it up. In individual states, their agencies.
Okay, so let me get to the perspective. The maximum of an American gets on food stamp, the maximum in the state of I think Seattle. I think it's one of the ones that pays the most, and Boston, Massachusetts, and New York. I think it's for a family of 6 is $2,700. So you telling me the legal aliens getting more than those people that are they're legal in the country? How could you really verify that this is true what you're saying?
Well,
my understanding is that the reason that they give in the car is because they were supplying them the food, and then sometimes they were over purchasing too much food, and then the food was getting out of date, and that's what they decided to give in food stamp. But I don't think, if they were, let's say they were getting 3 meals a day, I don't think they're gonna give them, each one of them, a car with $2,000, with $3,000, with thousands of dollars. I just don't believe this is true. I just don't believe this is true.
Okay, to answer your question, you're talking about food stamps, so I'm talking about EBT. It's not necessarily the same thing.
Well, food stamp and EBT is the same thing.
No, it's not.
It's not a program. Come from the federal government.
Listen,
and distributed to the states.
EBT means electronic benefits transfer. Food stamps are just one of the things you can get on the EBT card. You can get quite a few things on EBT card.
Yeah, but the benefit come from the SNAP program, from the federal program.
No. You're wrong. Because listen to what I'm saying. You're not listening. SNAP, food stamps are just one of the benefits that can go on the EBT card.
Okay.
You could also put child support on the EBT card, so it's not just food stamps.
I know. But were you telling me that they're gonna give them more than the people that have that they're legal? So
but see, you don't listen because
I'm asking you.
Listen.
It's true or not?
Listen, you're not hearing me. You're talking about food stamps. I said that it's not just food stamps that they're getting. EBT is not food stamps. EBT means EBT means electronic benefits transfer. You're not understanding.
Okay, so that will be cash. That will be cash and food. Okay, so they were getting $3,000 a month in benefit. That's what you're saying. That's what you're telling me.
Whatever the money is what they're getting.
So it was $3,000. That's what you're saying. That's what you read.
I'm not sure what the number was that I read.
Oh, okay, so you are not sure. So I want to move on. So you're not sure.
No. I said I don't know what the number. No. Don't do that. You're twisting my words. I say the exact number. I can't tell you if it was 3,000, 4,000. Really don't matter. The problem is that they're getting the money. That's the issue on their EBT card. But go ahead.
Okay, so I don't believe nothing what you said because you can't even prove me where the money. You said it come from the state. I read about the state, and then the benefit it was because the food program that they were getting from the hotels. But I'm gonna move on. So another thing and then you were talking about the birth citizenship, right? You know that this thing hasn't been thought out, right? Hello?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
You know that they didn't even think about this thing. That's why a lot of states decided to put an injunction on it. Let's say someone that is legal in an HB1 visa. It's a temporary visa. And two people that, let's say a Chinese and an Indian, or two Indians, they are the HB1 visa, or we have a F1 visa as a student, and they have a child. The woman, they're all pregnant, they have a child. So the child becomes illegal in the country then?
Excuse me?
if two people have temporary visa, HB1 visa and a student visa, and they have a baby, so the child becomes illegal, become an illegal citizen?
Okay, so the way it works.
Alien?
Okay, so the way it works is if one parent has some type of permanent status, which may or may not be a citizenship, then the baby that's born from that union will be a citizen. If they both, excuse me, I'm not done. If they both do not have permanent legal status in the country and they have a child, then the child is going to be illegal. Yes.
If they have, both of them have temporary visa. One has a working visa for 6 years and one has a student visa for 4 years. They have a child. So the child becomes illegal. So the child cannot stay in the country. Have to be removed and they have to stay because they're legal. This information is not being thought out.
No, because listen, your baby is not a legal resident, so now it's time for y'all to leave. Like the baby ain't gonna leave without y'all, so y'all can all leave. Because at the end of the day, you have a visa that's temporary, it can be revoked. So if you decide to have a baby, excuse me, I'm done talking. Excuse me. So if you have a baby while you're not a legal resident, that could be grounds for your visa to be revoked.
Oh, but that's not what it says in the law. There's nothing that it says in the particular not the law, but in whatever President Trump decided to introduce to the courts.
So, is there a law or not?
There's not a law. It's an introduction to the court.
By the time the law comes out, maybe that'll be in there. But right now, ain't no law. So we're just speculating, right?
Well,
so since there's no law, we're just speculating what the law is going to be, right?
But I mean, so you're speculating. They're giving a deadline, and they don't know what it is. This is how stupid this administration. But I want to move on. You guys talk about how Biden was going to create World War III, and then we all going to die, and then this is going to be so dangerous. But what about Trump now? He said he was going to bomb Moscow. He decided to send two nuclear submarines, close to Russia. So why is not outrage about World War III now? Why everybody's like, whatever?
Because I've not heard anything about any kind of strike.
Oh, you're having
happening.
Okay.
Now I did see what you're talking about as far as the whole Moscow thing, but it wasn't like a real. Are we gonna go strike? That wasn't what that was. That's nothing. It's nothing to worry about. You watching too much TV.
Well, he put it in his social media.
Okay.
He put it was gonna bomb Moscow. So
so
his words are nothing. So his words could be meaningless sometimes. Sometimes means something. Sometimes does not mean anything. That's what it is. That's what this leadership is.
Nah, you just watching too much TV. You getting scared for no reason.
I'm not getting scared. I'm asking you. You the guys the one who were scared with Biden. So now all the outrage is gone. That's I'm just wondering. And to close, right? Actually, do you believe Eric Adams is a communist socialist? The mayor of New York?
I don't know about Eric Adams. No, I'm not.
You don't know? Okay, so do you believe Mandani is a socialist or communist?
Yes, because of his policies.
Okay, so the Eric Adams is planning to build over 100 restricted income for housing, 50 of them, and he wanted to build another 50 more. So do you believe he's building houses with income restrictions that will price out, like will put other people that could pay the full amount, put him out of the market? That's not socialism?
No, that's not what that is. How's socialism? Excuse me, how is it socialism? Explain. In a short period of time.
Because first of all, you use your taxpayer funding to build homes.
So is it wait. Is it taxpayer funded or is it just income restricted? It's two different things.
It's taxpayer funded with private sector funding. So it's a combination of both.
Okay, so is it government housing?
It's not government housing. It's a combination of private investment with public investment. So for the record, we've been doing this for years, and this country has not turned communist or socialist.
Okay, that's much different. That's much different than a grocery store with no profit incentive that's going to be funded by the government. It's not the same thing at all. You're talking about a business that should be private to sell food to people that'd be propped up by the government, which never works because we see examples of that happening, and and it doesn't work. Housing is different than a grocery store. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right, let's go to my next call here. Who wants to take it to 757?
Yeah, Mr. Logan, Chesapeake Bob here. How you doing?
It's all good. What's happening?
Yeah, I was listening to Ivan. I had to turn him off because he frustrates me a little bit. But so y'all were talking a little bit when I turned you off about Trump moving the 2 subs closer to Russia, right?
Yeah.
Now, what happened after that? Did you hear today that there's a very good possibility that Trump and Putin are going to meet in person, maybe with Lazinski, next week?
Did
you hear that?
I did see that, yes.
So maybe Putin got the message when we sent the subs over there.
Maybe he did. It's like, okay, now let's talk about peace. And then if you're able to get some peace going and everything's all right, then crisis averted.
Yeah, so I was listening to Ivan, and I was just like, man, it's moves and counter moves. That's what Trump does. That's what he is. Moves and counter moves. And I think if he can get a peace agreement based on maybe moving the subs, that'd be great. I just wanted to call and let you know what my opinion was, and didn't know if you thought about it.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You take care, sir.
Same to you now. All right. Great call. And shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'm not in any kind of way thinking that there's going to be a conflict between the U.S. and Russia. Like, that's what the prior administration wanted to do. They wanted to get involved with Russia. There's a big desire to fight them. That's the whole Ukraine thing, really, is just fighting Russia through a proxy war in Ukraine. And it'll never end as long as it keeps being funded, which it should not be funded, in my humble opinion. Because what's the purpose of trying to fund this war over there? How's that gonna be helpful to us? That's my particular question. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best. I'm gonna read some of the comments here. All right, let me see. Frank, Peter, you guys are funny. Some of these comments, like every now and again, I'll read the chat when I'm doing the stream, and it'll kind of get me distracted a little bit. I got to kind of keep focused on what I'm supposed to be saying rather than reading the chat, because you guys say some of the craziest things sometimes. So shout out to y'all. The wit in the chat is unmatched. But yeah, I'm not worried about no Russia. Why are we worried about Russia? Why is anybody concerned about what Russia is gonna like? Is gonna be some kind of conflict between us and them? We'll be just fine. Okay, we will be just fine. It's fine. All right, we're gonna be okay. Yeah, the chat is most certainly wild. But, and to go back to the whole thing about EBT, electronic benefits transfer, that's not just food stamps. It's not just SNAP benefits. It's all of that. They put that on one card. 770, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Yoli.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, Bill, I wanted to talk to you last Saturday night, but, I was kind of busy, but I need to find out something. What's your opinion on this? So I have a couple of friends on the West Coast that work for hospitals, and they make pretty good money. And last Friday, like 3 of them, I'm here in Georgia, but anyway, last Friday, one of them called me and said, you know what, we lost our job. And I go, how'd you lose your job? What'd you do? We didn't do anything. What happened was, this company came in to the hospital and signed a contract with the hospital and took our jobs over to another country. It's either India or it was Vietnam. And now these people are out of work. So I don't get it. I voted MAGA, but the thing is, I notice a lot of discrepancies for a lot of things that we were promised here in the U.S. for us instead of other countries first. But the thing is, what I'm wondering is, Trump said, we're going to bring all these jobs to the U.S. and we're going to keep Americans working here first. But, like when you call like banks or you call customer service lines, and no offense, nothing against the foreigners or anything that work at these call centers, but some of them are kind of hard to understand. And this has been going on for years, and, why are Americans being put aside and these companies are outsourcing? And this has been going on for years, but the thing is, I thought Trump said that he promised that we're going to keep America first and keep jobs going here in America. So what's your opinion on this?
Well, I don't think that Trump can stop all these private companies from laying off people and going overseas. I think his objective is to make America more attractive for companies to stay, to bring manufacturing back, to bring jobs in general back. That's why you had the tariffs, because without the tariffs, they could just dump whatever they want on us from all over the world, and that'll just take a lot of jobs and money away from us. But it's hard to it's hard to just all these millions of individual companies. It's very difficult to force them to do something. They could just close down and there's no jobs, or they could offshore. But Trump wants to make it more attractive for these companies to stay in America. But sometimes it's not enough.
Yeah, and another thing is all this stuff and everything about prices going down. And, a lot of people get mad, and especially like people on fixed incomes. It is tough out there. And I don't see any difference. And like I said, I live here in Georgia. I live close to you, as a matter of fact. No pun intended. However, I notice the prices aren't really that great for the wages and people on fixed incomes, things of that, So what do you think? Maybe you're not noticing because you're a millionaire. No, I'm just joking with you. I'm just messing with you.
So what's your specific question?
Do you notice, like, you go shopping and you're always talking about, certain foods that you like and meats and things like that. Do you notice that the prices have gone down, or what do you think? In your opinion?
Not really gone down.
Seriously.
No, I'm gonna give you the answer. Not necessarily that they've gone down. I don't think it's overly expensive for what I want, because all I get is produce. I don't really go nowhere else in the store. So for what I want, it's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's a little bit high when I get some of the fish. The chicken is pretty decent. It's not too bad. The fish has been kind of high, but the chicken has not been that bad. The avocados, tomatoes, apples, oranges, they're not really that bad. But there is an increase, but it's not like to the point where it's unaffordable, in my humble opinion.
Okay, now my last question, because I know I don't want to tie up the lines for all the wonderful people out there that want to chat with you as well. However, what do you think? Thank God I own my own home, but the thing is, I have a lot of friends and family that don't own their own homes, and the rents are just out of sight. And what do you think about that? Don't you think our government should try to do a little something on that? What's your opinion?
Well, I don't know what they can do, really. I think the main thing would be just to try and improve the economy, to try and encourage more jobs to come to America. That is probably the best way to go about it, because the government can't control everything. The government can't make these developers build in a certain place and charge a certain amount of money. There's regulations, of course, on the industry, like anything else, but they can only do so much to control the rent. I think if we have more of a supply of available housing, that'll drive down the cost of the rent, and the deportations are going to aid in that, because if you got 20 million illegal aliens and they got housing and magically they get deported, there's going to be a bunch of available housing, which will bring the cost of housing down.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And lastly, a lot of the developers and things around this area in northern Georgia, they're building new home developments, and they're not for sale, they're for rent. So, and the rents are really expensive. So, okay, ABL, it's great talking with you. I've spoken with you numerous times, and I appreciate you taking my call. And shout out to all the people out there that We all admire you and listen to your listen to your podcast. Good night. Have a great day. Bye.
All right now. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to the caller. Great caller. Let's go to 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. So I talked to you last week about grocery shopping and the lady that didn't know how to shop, and it was kind of a lost art of people, shopping and making sure that they understand like price per pound and stuff. I don't know if you remember me or not. But no offense to you, but yeah, price per pound for ground beef is usually about $5 per pound, depending on where you go. Kroger is usually a little higher. But that's what I mean by shopping around. I'm not trying to put it on you. You probably have the money to spend on whatever you like. But if you are crunched for money, it's things like that you should know because you need to shop around. So Kroger might be more expensive for ground beef, but then maybe you go to Sam's Club and it's cheaper. And also understanding buying by bulk is also how you get cheaper rates. And then trying to learn to actually cut down, like if you have a whole chicken, learning to actually butcher it could also bring that price down. Again, I'm not trying to put it on you on that. I'm just sitting there saying that when it comes to people on food stamps and stuff like that, instead of just grabbing a box and saying it's easy and then shove it in a cart, they should learn to understand how to shop. And then I wanted to touch on what the lady before you was talking about when it came to housing. Originally, I'm from LA, and one of the things that really upset me, and this happened a long time ago because I used to listen to John and Ken, and because of the fact the way housing is out there, the politicians there would go ahead and blame capitalism. Problem with that is that they put so many laws, rules, and restrictions on building anything that it's almost impossible to build. So when that happens, they'll blame capitalism, saying, well, they're not building fast enough or anything else. And, when they put restrictions, like, for example, you want a new house, or by law, it has to have solar panels. It makes it really, really hard to actually build, and people can't build. They sit there and say, well, there's not enough housing, but there's not enough housing because the government made it that way. Not like in Texas, which I've noticed because I've kind of moved out there, and I've noticed entire towns just go up like almost what seems like overnight. What do you think?
What's your specific question?
Oh no, it wasn't a question. It was just me pointing out some things that I've noticed, especially with the last caller, having to deal with like the groceries and why they're expensive, and then the housing market, why it's expensive. I was pointing out basically like one of the problems in California, especially why housing is so expensive, is because of laws, rules, and regulations. And, politicians then turn around, they'll blame capitalism, but people don't quite realize that they put laws and restrictions in place that make it really hard to build. And I wanted your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. So I think people just don't really understand exactly what's happening around them. They may look at something just one way without getting the full picture. But once you get the full picture, it's a little bit easier to navigate it. So you understand that sometimes things are more expensive at one place versus the other. And if you have that knowledge, you'd be a lot better armed to just go through your life.
Yeah, I agree with you. Anyway, I just wanted to point some of those things out because I know some people always ask, like, why is housing so expensive? Well, whether it's illegal immigrants coming in or places like Texas. I know Texas has been complaining about us Californians moving out here because housing went up a little bit because of the influx of people. But like I said, they keep building out. So because of that, that's kept the price low. Not like in LA, you just kept having waves of people coming in, and the price of housing skyrocketed because the politicians made it impossible to build. But anyway, though, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for the show. And I'll let you go, and I hope you have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, yeah. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, definitely shop around. Make sure you go into the right spot, getting the right things, and that can most certainly help you. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. And don't buy a bunch of unnecessary stuff. 323, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, yeah, this is Joanne. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to make a comment about the prices of particularly food. And the last caller, you just informed him that he's more informed about the choices of whatever he can do get a better outcome. Now, I live in Los Angeles, and the Mexican groceries, about food, the staples that they eat, basically cilantro and like green onions. I noticed that. Okay, so I go to the Mexican grocery store. I can get 3 cilantros, or 3 bundles, or packs, whatever they call, for $1. I go to Kroger in my neighborhood, which is basically Ralph's, and they want $1 for just one. So I'm like, how grocery store over here, I can get 3 and I want to get 1 over there. And I think it's all about the corporate greed, or because how can you have such a discrepancy in prices, and they're like blocks away, there's one, it's not like I'm going across town. So it's just all about the corporate greed, and basically people not, just going to the same grocery stores and not really doing, shopping around for what they need, produce, meat, whatever because generally speaking, if you go to a Mexican grocery store here in Los Angeles, you can get reasonable prices. It's truly much better than Kroger. So I just think, like I said, it's all about corporations, the greed, and, how big the company is, because the more people you have employed, the more you got to pay bills. So it has nothing to do with whether or not we got enough people out there picking the vegetables or whatever, or whether or not Kroger can, make a profit at $1, another store can make a profit at 33 cents. It's just corporate greed and the size of the company at the end of the day when it comes to prices. So I just wanted to add that in because that's what I see, and that's what I figured out, because other than that, it does not make any sense.
Well, hey, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye.
I mean, it makes sense to me. You got a really big store, got a lot more employees, got more overhead. Hey, man, the price of the product got to match our ability to keep this spot open. If you got a little tienda or something like that on the corner, it's a little bit different. 740, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's Jeff ABL. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Man, I was sitting there listening to you. I don't know if that's Ivan, whoever that was, to call in, but sometimes you just need to tell these people, if you don't like the offerings here in America, why don't you just take yourself on back to Turkestan? Because that's just ridiculous. I don't think people would be so much against food stamps if you had a bunch of people on there showing good foods that they were buying and raising their kids right with it, instead of all this showing Fruity Pebbles and Hostess snacks. What do you think about that? Do you think the American people, if people were more responsible with this, wouldn't mind so much?
Absolutely. If I saw a bunch of athletic, well-fed people on these type of programs, hey, that's much better than seeing somebody that's 800 pounds complaining about the food stamps they're not getting.
That's it. Or, man, it's, like I've told you, I was disabled. I don't get food stamps anymore, but one time I did, man. And I mean, me and my wife have worked and as hard as we could to get away from them. And actually, we could go down there and play games with the system and probably be getting another $300 or $400 a month. But that's just not right when I know I have the skills to take the little bit of money we have and make it last.
That's right.
So, well, anyways, let's see here. What can I? Oh yeah, you don't think an AI plumber can be real? I'll joke with you a little bit before we get off here. So you don't think AI could be a plumber, do you?
I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I was telling you about those Japanese AI robots over there in that German brothel. I heard they can clear pipes.
I bet they can.
Anyways, hey, one more thing. You said you thought Sydney Sweeney was looking good, right?
Yes.
Why don't you just go for her, man? Listen, just tell her you're Morgan Freeman Jr. She'll fall for it. I'm telling you.
There you go. Right there. You got it.
All right, bud. Well, I just thought I'd call in here toward the end of the show. You have a good evening and a good show tonight, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye, buddy.
All right. Great call. Shout out to you guys tonight. Fantastic calls. But I think that will be a wrap for me. You guys have been great as always. I'll be back live on the YouTubes Saturday night, as always. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here every Wednesday, same as right now, 8 to 11 Eastern. And also, I'm live on the Instagrams every Tuesday at 9 p.m. to right around 10:30 or so. Whenever I feel like it's time to go ahead and just wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But this is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. These videos, the regular 10-minute or whatever on YouTube, are also on Rumble. So follow me on Rumble. Follow me on your favorite audio streaming platform. Follow me on social media. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. And shout out to the Facebook crew. I got to do a video just for y'all. A thank you, because we're almost at 100,000 followers on Facebook. And that's been growing a lot. Shout out to Monique, our editor over here on the ABL channel, for doing a fantastic job of being able to help me get to that point. I think I'm at 99,800 and it keeps going up and up. I looked at it before I started. It was like 99.6. Now I'm like 99.8. So by the morning, it might be 100,000. So shout out to you guys on the Facebook for rocking and rolling with me and making the community really grow over there. But that'll be a wrap for me. I pretty much got everything covered. I'll read the super chats right here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to Sonia C, who says that accent caller possibly not a citizen of the United States. The United States is going through a qualifying citizen reset. Hey, I don't know, my friend. I don't know if I'm not going to sit here and say whether he is or not, but there's always a possibility that he might not be, might not be above board, might not be who he says he is. I don't really know, but hey, we shall see. And if he's not here legally, then, he can go right back over there and figure it out that way. But that'll be a wrap for me. You guys have been great. And thank you to Tony Hay Munkets, who says hi, Sharaya and ABL. Thank you for that. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.